what every gamer has been talking about. Content, there's no avoiding what every gamer has been talking about, I suppose, over the last couple of weeks, and that is this ongoing.
Hello, welcome to Xbox Infinite. Another week of huge news and another week of awesome guests and an awesome chat. G'day to everyone in the chat. You guys are amazing. I've been saying hello to you guys when I had a chance. But yeah, it's going to be a great show. We'll say g'day to our amazing guests. Starting from the top, Logic, man. How you doing? How's your week been going? How was your podcast? I think you had one this morning, didn't you?
No, ours is coming up on Sunday, but we did have one last Sunday. Yes. Yeah. But I can understand you being on the other side of the world, not knowing what day it is over here in the States. So it's okay. I don't take offense to that.
Yes. No, I don't. Yeah. And it's at 3 a.m. for me, I think, as well. But
that's insane. I don't understand how you do it, but God bless you. Yeah, man. No, week's been good. Gaming's been good. A lot of fun. Playing a lot of Deathloop, League of Legends. Got a lot of COD beta with Sensei, my brother, and the crew. So it's having a lot of fun, man. Hanging in, gaming, watching the Yankees, hoping Aaron Judge hits 61 right now. You know, that's it. That's what we're up to.
Right. Is Yankees basketball? Is that what that is?
No, I'm sorry. That's I apologize. I'm sorry. That's the New York. That's the New York Yankees. They are a Major League Baseball team, and they play in the Bronx.
Gridiron.
They play in the Bronx, New York. Yes.
Gridiron, isn't it? I gotcha.
Yes.
That's what it is. I used to be a state center fielder, so I do know baseball. I was just messing around. I was just messing with you. Sensei Kills. How you doing, man? How's your week? You've obviously been playing a bit of Modern Warfare like me. How's things?
Yeah, I would say a bit is a little undersold there. I've been playing since it came out like 30 minutes before 1 o'clock PM Eastern time. But no, I've been playing it. I've been trying different modes. They dropped SND today, so I've been playing with that. I'm a big SND fan when it comes to COD, but been playing the beta on that, enjoying that, and some Deathloop, man. That's what I've been doing there, getting ready for our pod on Sunday.
Yeah, right. How's Deathloop going for you?
Deathloop is actually it's okay. It wasn't going to be my game, but it's Game Pass, right? So I went ahead and downloaded it and started playing it, and it turns out that it's one of my games. I like it. It's a top rotation right now. I've been playing it. It is going to be part of my completionist when it comes to games completed this year. So I'm loving it, man. There is one issue I have with it, but I guess we'll talk about that in a minute. But it does have a crash in it that doesn't let you complete a mission, and it's a hard crash. It's part of the game. You can't even miss it. Once you get there, it'll crash. But yeah, hopefully they'll patch that pretty soon, so I can continue on my journey on Deathloop with Colt.
Right, yeah, man.
How many games have you completed, Sensei, this year?
Was that?
How many games have you completed this year?
Oh shit! Sorry, I don't remember.
Don't have the number straight up. Oh, that's cool. That's good.
You'll be here all day if you ask him that.
I knew he was gonna chime in, man. It's let's just round that out. Let's just round that out to like about maybe I'll say 60, 70 games.
I believe him 100%.
Yeah, nice. Wow. That's amazing, man.
Right, well, we'll get to the panel intros. DoomCutie, how you doing? How's your week been? What have you been up to? What have you been playing? What are you looking forward to?
Hey everyone. Hey Chad, how you going? This week I'm finally home from my very, very, very long camp that I've been on, dealing with sweaty teenagers all week. But now I'm on holidays, so feeling much, much better. Nice. So I haven't really been gaming that much, although I did jump on to Fallout the other day, and also obviously Disney Dreamlight, because you know.
But that's cool. I do.
Come on. Have you not seen the cute boy characters? They're so
No. I'll probably check it out. Like, it's on Game Pass, so why the hell not? But I have also been dealing with sweaty teenagers, but mostly on Modern Warfare. JediKnightPete, how you doing? How's your week? What have you been playing? I know what you've been playing. You haven't been doing very well at it. I've been checking out your scores, and they're abysmal.
Play nice.
Yeah, look, I've been playing a little bit of the Call of Duty Modern Warfare beta. Look, I have to say that I'm not great at COD. I am a little bit of a head-first, guns blazing man, you know, from my Halo days, and it doesn't reward you being aggressive. It rewards sweaty campers. But yeah, look, I've been enjoying it. It's beautiful. It runs great. Really enjoying that. Still finishing off Immortals Phoenix Rising, and I played like about 20 minutes or so of Deathloop and love it so far.
Yeah, we'll definitely get into
really
Deathloop, but what they Ubisoft you in Immortals, like you thought you were pretty close to the end, and then it was like waypoint. So
yeah, I rescued all the gods, and I'm like, okay, sweet. And then, so I was talking to Bushido yesterday, and even after you go to Tartarus, which is where you go after you defeat all the bosses, there's still another area after that. So yeah, it's definitely a Ubisoft game.
yeah, typical Ubisoft game. Umbra, how you doing, man? How is your week? What have you been up to? That is a fire-looking font that you've got next to your name. I like it.
Yeah, brother, try to upgrade over here. You know how it is. No, so I have had a pretty interesting week from an actual real life fight. Yes, I got into fisticuffs with somebody, guys. I won too. But yeah, it was interesting. And I've been playing a few different games this week. So I'm playing Solstice, which is a double A indie game made by this group called Reply Game Studios. It's actually really interesting. It's kind of like gameplay is kind of a Devil May Cry meets what's the game I meant? Nier kind of automata kind of style as far as representation. It's pretty interesting. And I've been playing Deathloop. Deathloop is actually really interesting as well. I got to get more into it, so I can't give a full thought on it yet, but I do want to uncover the mystery behind it. I'm enjoying it though.
Yeah, look, I myself have been playing a hell of a lot of Modern Warfare, but I haven't really got a chance to play too much. I've got a sick missus and a sick kid, which is pretty much a weekly, monthly, daily thing for me at the moment. But I did try to play Deathloop. Want to talk on that a little bit quickly, guys. Just a bit of information for you. Look, it cooked my console. So what happens with the Series X is if it gets too hot, and my console sits out in the complete open, it was around about 15 degrees Celsius, which is pretty low temperature. Obviously 0 is freezing and 15 degrees is pretty cold. And so I was playing Deathloop, just nothing. I wasn't even in combat or anything, and it just cooked the console, shut the console down. And what the Series X will do is if it gets too hot, it will shut your console down for you before it gets to the point where it will properly cook your console. And then it won't start up again until it gets cool. And then it will just give you a message letting you know that your console's overheated and to make sure it's got enough air coming into it. So, and I have heard that there's been a few people having shutdown issues with Deathloop. I think they've acknowledged it. They acknowledged it in the Insider program as well. So they are working on a fix. But for me, I am not playing it until they patch it. Just not worth the risk for me. But from what I did play, really enjoyed it, loved it. I haven't got any footage of Modern Warfare on the Series X today. I just didn't have time to cap any. This is some more footage from the PlayStation 5. But it runs better on the Xbox. Xbox better. No, it runs pretty much the same. They go pretty well. I'm still yet to hear if the Xbox Series X version has FSR 2.0 in it. I'm assuming it does because I think Cold War had and Vanguard had FSR 1.0, so I would imagine it did. Look, we'll jump into the first topic of the week. That's probably the longest intro I've ever given myself. Yay me, pat on the back. First topic of the week is, and we had to flip things around kind of last minute here because Satya Nadella had a bit of an interview with, I think it was CNBC or whoever the hell it was. He basically
Bloomberg. I'm sorry, it was Bloomberg. Yes, I'm sorry.
That's good. That gives me time to open up the stuff that I was
behind the paywall.
Yeah. So look, very basically, the short and the long of it, I did get a chance to watch. It's a long ass interview, covers a lot of things. But a couple of things that he said, Satya Nadella said, of course, any acquisition of this size will go through scrutiny. We feel very, very confident that will come out. But you have to watch this man's face when he says stuff like that because he's got this little sardonic smile, how he's kind of enjoying seeing Sony cry about it. So, and then he also said, so if this is about competition, let us have competition. I don't think he said it like that. But very interesting that he said that. You kind of get the feeling that there's more going on behind the scenes, and of course there is. Now, on top of this, that a lot of people aren't talking about, And that kind of feeds into that line of let us have competition. EA came out and made a public statement about the ABK deal, more public than they did when they were going through CADE, which is the Brazilian regulator. And they said, in a world, I just love the way he starts this, in a world where there may be questions over the future of Call of Duty and what platforms that might be on or might not be on, being platform agnostic and completely cross-platform. Yeah, exactly. Completely cross-platform with Battlefield. I think this is a tremendous opportunity. He said, referencing the ongoing war of the words between Microsoft, Sony, and the future. And that kind of leads me into this whole conversation, and I'll go to the panel in a minute. But I have been saying this, I think from the very, very beginning. If Call of Duty does go exclusive, what that does is open up the market for someone else to fill the gap, because there's a void there. There'll be a vacuum that needs to be filled. It won't not be filled, and it will be filled with another shooter. And that gives EA that chance to step in with Battlefield, because it is a multi-plat, and really hit a home run. I mean, I doubt they will. Everyone knows I'm a big Battlefield fan, or was. And I hope that they do. I don't think they will. But anyway, it just opens up that market, and it's a perfect opportunity. And it's a perfect example of creating competition in the market and opening it up so people will have an opportunity to step in and fill those voids. And that happens with every single game when you take away something like Spider-Man or whatever from a platform. It does open up the market. Something will step in to fill that void for the other consoles that don't have that. Hopefully it's as good. Sometimes it's not, but we'll see. Look, I'm going to go to Logic on this one to start off with. Look, he had a fair bit to say, not just that let there be competition, but what are your thoughts in general, as a whole, over the ABK deal, and what Satya Nadella had to say about the deal?
I mean, it's gotten to the point now where Microsoft in itself, it's no longer Phil, right? Now it's the head of Microsoft. It's the parent company now coming in to say, hey, listen, guys, we're committed to making this deal go through. We're committed to letting everybody see the books, see the deal. We're fully transparent. We want this to happen. We want to show you how it's going to happen. We want to show you that we want to invoke change over at ABK. Also, that ABK thing, it kills me because it's ActiBliz, but that's just me. I mean, I understand King is there, and also a big part of them picking up ABK is for the King, for the mobile, as we've seen over the last couple of days and weeks, the big push for mobile gaming from all these other developers and all these other companies. So honestly, it's like he has to come out and say something now just for the sake of it at this point. He's the head of the company, So I like what he said there. He brought up good points, obviously, about Sony basically saying, and I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but like, hey, listen, they've been making acquisitions. We're not the only ones that are looking to, acquire a company. Granted, they're not of the same size as a Activision Blizzard at $70 billion price point. I mean, Bungie's sitting over there at, $3 billion, whatever it was, 3 and change. No, it's not a small chump change, but it's also not at the same scale, So, but just letting them know, like, this is just business as usual. You're just looking at the number and you're getting sticker shock. You have sticker shock because you see 70 billion, and then you also see all of the IPs that are underneath ABK. You see Call of Duty. You see World of Warcraft. You see even King with Candy Crush, and you see all of this opportunity and all this money and this revenue. Microsoft's just looking at it like this is something that we could show stockholders at the end of the day. Like, look at all of this recurring revenue that we're generating now, without even doing anything, because no one's going to stop playing World of Warcraft anytime soon, and no one's going to stop playing Call of Duty anytime soon, and no one's going to stop spending money on mobile games anytime soon. So here you go. It's just guaranteed profit at the end of the day. So I think that's big picture Microsoft. And as far as just competing in the game space, it's just like, yeah, listen, like we're serious about gaming now, and we just want to step forward, and we want to basically improve Game Pass, because I think that also is the evolution of where Microsoft and Xbox wants to take this. They just want to add as many titles to Game Pass as humanly possible, and provide that service for the gamers. So overall, I'm just happy about it, and I just think it's just they got to just keep on the course that they've set, and they just have to deal with all these regulators until eventually they all get tired out. It's going to be an endurance run, essentially. They just got to tire everybody out until there's nothing else that they want to, no other rock that they want to disturb, and then I think we'll be good to go.
It's like a stamina fight, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely, I'd 110% agree with that. And I think at the end of the day, you know, these regulators have also got to show the world or their respective countries that, hey, we are looking at this. This is what we are doing. We're doing our job. Sensei, obviously you had a chance to check out what Satya, that guy, the CEO, said. What were you?
And it's Emperor Satya team to you.
Satya.
Empress Palpatine. I like that. Empress Palpatine.
No.
What are your thoughts on the APK deal and what Satya had to say?
I'll bring my Latino flair to this. Satya. He said, no.
Wow.
I actually watched a little bit of it, not all of it, because that was a lot, and it was just too long for me to just sit there and watch it. But just to hit a note on what you said about the EA thing with the opportunity there. First and foremost, EA, please make a Battlefield that's actually good first before you get into that whole conversation about it builds a space there for us to jump on it and make a good game first before you jump on.
Vince is there, Sensei. I have hope. Vince is there.
He is there now. Although I hate that he had to apologize for something he wasn't a part of. I didn't like that. I was just like, why are you apologizing? It didn't have to do with that. But Satya saying, creating competition. If you want competition, let's go for it. I'm all for it, man. It's a space where it's growing. I mean, it's ever growing. It's been booming for how many years now? It's been booming. It's just I don't see an end to the gaming space like slowing down. It's just going crazy. And now with the subscription happening, where that's blowing up, the man's saying, "Hey, man, we all about the competition. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk about that competition. How are we going to do this? You want Game Pass on your PlayStation? Do you want it? Where do you want it at?" That conversation is kind of ever growing, and I'm glad that he's part of that space now, because remember, now Xbox was not going to be a thing until Phil had to convince him to be a thing, and now he's all in. Like he's putting all his eggs in a basket, saying, "I'm all in on this. I believe in it. The subscription is happening, and we just want millions and millions of players." He's buying into the plan. He wants millions of players to play video games. So what I got out of it was pretty cool when he finally said, "Look, listen, we understand what you're saying over there with the whole Call of Duty thing, and we understand that you think it's going to be, we're going to try to corner the market, but it's not that. It's just we want competition, and we're ready to have that conversation." So I'm interested to see where that conversation heads here and out in the future, And I'm with Logic. The ABK thing, no, that's not my thing. I keep calling it Activision Blizzard. I understand the ABK, but it's like ABK is kind of like, okay, cringy.
Yeah, you call it whatever you want. It's got to go through. I don't see it not going through, but that comment
it's going through. No doubt going through. Yeah. Oh, that's going to go through. Yeah.
That he's stepped up, to say, hey, I think this is Satya's way of saying to all of the regulators out there that we'll fight this if you try to stop it going through.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, and when you know that he's stepping up to say something about it, that's full force, behind it, and it's fully backed.
That's the part I loved. I love that he came in and said, "You know what? I'm all in. Let's go. I got Phil's back. I got his back on this, and I like that. It shows teamwork, team loyalty, all that team gelling, whatever movie you want to phrase to it or whatever paraphrase to it. That he's doing that. He's going out there now. He's putting his face on the bill and saying, "Hey, I'm here too. What's up?"
Yeah, exactly. And you got to think as a regulator, they're pretty serious if they're going to put 70 bill on the table. Look. DoomCutie, did you get a chance to watch the extremely long interview, but did you get a chance to read the comments? I'm like Sensei there. I watched a bit. Man, it was long. They covered a lot of ground in that interview. But did you get a chance to read the comments that Satya Nadella wants competition?
Yeah, I watched it. And, because I have more of attention span than a teaspoon, you know what I mean? I'm kidding. No, you know what? I think Sensei's right. Like it's so good to see someone come into the space and just be like, you know what? I'm down. I'm all in. I'm ride or die. And he really did put that energy out there. And I think it's important. It's important to see more allies for Xbox for these kinds of things, because it just, if people are more clear about where they stand and then they put that in the public space, then it removes the whole sort of it removes the amount of space there is for all that negativity. So, I think it's great.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely, if you're a pony, though, they'll find negativity somewhere in those comments. JediKnightPete, or trust me, go check my timeline. JediKnightPete, what did you think about Satya Nadella's comments?
if it's about competition, let us have competition. Yeah,
Oh
I
my
loved it.
God.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that he's all in. Look, I think that Jim Lyon, Dance Moves Ryan, was getting into the public space, and we talked about this last week, to put a little bit of pressure on the CMA. And, Satya, head of a, $2 trillion company, didn't take too kindly to that, I wouldn't have thought. And he said, well, I've got a bit of sway. I've got a bit of swagger here, in this in this
He
industry.
flexed.
That's flex a little bit, and I love it. I love that he's all in. We're all saying that, we were always talking about how Microsoft was just a bit player in the Xbox was a bit player in the Microsoft juggernaut. This is a $70 billion acquisition with $3 billion on the line. If it doesn't go through, this is a big deal. And so I love it. I love that he's come out publicly in support of both Phil and Xbox. We've known for a while that Microsoft are backing Xbox all the way, and him being so vocal about it is just more proof if we didn't need any, if we needed any more.
Absolutely. And DeliverX in the comments there, when he said it sounded like a battle cry, that's kind of how I heard it in my head. It's either like a Scarface thing, like, if you want competition, let us have competition, or the Spartan kick, you know what I mean?
Wait, time out.
Time out. Hold on.
Was that your best Scarface impression?
Yeah.
That didn't sound nothing like no damn Scarface.
Absolutely sounds.
Pretty good.
Say hello to my little competition.
Oh, Lord. I know you all hear
my
this.
little friend.
Say hello to my little competition. Okay.
Well, speaking of,
This guy has a thick accent,
I do have a very thick accent. Umbra, moving on from that comment, what did you think of the Sata?
Oh my God.
The Sata Nadella comments? And just before you do go, I also thought of it as like the whole Spartan kick. You know what I mean? Let us have competition. Kicks him into the well. But
this is competition.
yes.
I more thought of Taxi Driver. Are you talking to me?
You must be talking to me. Right.
No one else here. You must be talking. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Umbra, what did you think? What did you think?
Let's continue this trend of badly using movie lines. Let them fight. So like that. So let them compete. Yeah. The thing is like, once Satya, when he came out and then said what it was it, months back, a year back, when he said that they're all in, you know, and then we saw what they did with Bethesda, and we thought, like, I remember when it happened, I was in a space at the time, and I was like, whoa, like, what? They got Bethesda. And then ABK, I was also inside of a space when it happened, and I saw that the price sticker for that. It's like, no way in the world did they pay that much money for this, right? So once we saw that, it was like, yeah, they weren't just blowing hot air. They're absolutely all in. So for me, when I saw those things, him coming out to say what he's saying, Sony has to be a bit terrified, and that because they can't afford to battle them the same way that Sony is used to battling people. So, but the thing is, that smirk, like you pointed out, Risk, all of that right there shows you that, yeah, Satya, he wants to smoke too. It's not something he's shying away from. You know what I mean? He puts on a nice facade of the nice little, small little, nice smiling businessman, but these dudes are sharks. You know what I mean? So absolutely.
And I'm here for it.
I'm here for it too. Hey, do what you have to do. At the end of the day, we win here as gamers and consumers. So you'll never hear me. As I tell Boom, when he, what's up, Mac? Whenever I come on the show and we're talking about acquisitions and things like that, you're never, ever going to hear me be like, I don't want them to acquire this or that. The state of the blah, 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 and all this other stuff, and people try to sound neutral. No, I'm not neutral at all. I'm greedy. I am paying for Game Pass, and I want all the bang for my buck. If they have to raise it to 20 and I'm still getting all these games plus more acquired publishers and such, I'll absolutely accept that. But at the moment, there is no reason to be anti-Game Pass as a consumer, especially as an Xbox gamer. I have both consoles, but I'm going to play primarily here. So yes, I'm for it.
Smooth
100%.
voice brought out the sex check.
Yeah, it always does.
You gotta stop it, bro.
They were like, oh yeah, it's time.
Oh wait, so it's you guys too? It's not just us? I was gonna say we just went through this on Sunday as well, but all right.
No, they love us. They love us.
One of you all, the decibels dropped in one of you guys' voice. That's what it was, and they were like, "Oh, it's time."
Sensei, you got to stop doing that, brother. You got to stop.
Well, I mean, I can't make excuses for this voice. It's just
Nothing
it
you can do
happens.
about that. Nothing you can do about that. He started talking about achievements, and the voice naturally.
Achievement. It's just they come out. Sexy talk.
It gets the people going.
Right, it's provocative.
It's provocative. Going. Yeah, I love that.
What do you mean it's provocative?
So we're bringing it back from the sex chat to Satay Nadella, Umbra.
Yes, Satya. How do you say it again? It's Satya. How do you say it in the Hispanic version? Satya. King Satya. Yes. Like I said, the biggest thing is that they're not. It's not just hot air that they were blowing. It's obvious that they're behind them 100% now, which is a stark change. I mean, look at us, where we come from, guys. Look at the Xbox One gen to now, and it's just it's a way stark big difference, right? And so I know Sony is not liking it. I know they're afraid of it. The deal is going to go through, like the guys pointed out. And I think that smirk was him knowing that it is. It's like, you all can do all of this campaigning online to try to paint us as the villain, but it's not going to stop anything ultimately. It's going to happen. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that's just what it is. So.
Yeah, it may slow it down. I was talking about this with someone else the other day. It might slow it down, and that's probably what they're doing. We know they're buying time by blocking games from Game Pass, and they're probably trying to buy time with this deal and give themselves enough breathing space, which they're not going to get. They're a bit too far behind the eight ball, in my opinion. But they give themselves a bit of breathing time to get some of these games as a service and maybe a competitor for COD out, and maybe just get themselves a little caveat to the deal, so that, they can get something written in by the administrators to say, hey, COD's going to stay for X amount of years. They've already been offered a really good deal, and we're too stupid to take it, in my opinion. But look, we're going to move on to the next topic. But before we do, please hit that like button. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Share us out. Let everyone know that we go live 8 p.m. EST Fridays. And look, I'll just throw something else before we do move on to the next topic. Me and Umbra have a fight booked. He's got a date with the canvas, and he is going to go down, but unfortunately we're going to have to postpone that fight. Was supposed to be after the show, but two things are happening today. One that I forgot, which is the grand final, and my partner is a little bit sick, so I need to look after her, look after baby. But I'm hoping to get that fight underway at around about 8 p.m. EST tomorrow. I'll talk with Umbra after the show, but that fight is for all the marbles. It's for me either paying the $10 so he can get his God of War Ragnarok for $60, or this man buys it for $70 if I win. So it's going to be a very interesting fight. I can't wait to see him sleeping on the mat.
I'm going to sleep after I put you in the hospital. The thing is, I'm going to fight so hard tomorrow when we do this, because I have a staunch anti-$70 thing going. Mm-hmm. And I can't have you force me into buying it.
I know you do. I know you do. This is why we're having this thing. And at the end of the day, my will to make you pay 70 probably isn't as strong as your will to not pay 70. But if you do win, that's my excuse right there. Look, moving on to the next topic. GTA 6 got the shit hacked out of it. Like, oh my God. And this has been a developing story throughout the week, and wow. So there's a bit that I want to say on this, but before I do, I'm going to move through it just quickly, the timeline. So they were hacked. A lot of footage was released of GTA 6. I obviously wouldn't play it on the channel, and we get DMCA'd so quick my head would spin around and fall off. They tried to DMCA me for playing a bloody trailer, which I actually contested and won. So yeah, if I played that, that'd be us going for sure. But moving on, so they were hacked. Their source code was stolen. Now, if you don't quite understand, and I'm not saying I'm a tech guy or I'm a dev, but from what I understand, speaking to a couple of devs, the reason that is so bad is the source code is the layer underneath the code that you see. And once you have access to that source code, they can create hacks, they can create cheats, they can do all sorts of things, they can steal information. There's really the door and the keys to the kingdom is all theirs once they have that source code. Now, this was a 17-year-old from the UK who stole the source code, apparently the leader of a gang. I mean, I don't know. I kind of hats off to that 17-year-old for putting together a gang at 17. I don't think I was that organised at his age. But look, a message from Rockstar came out. We recently suffered a network intrusion in which an unauthorized third party illegally accessed and downloaded confidential information from our system, including early development footage for the next Grand Theft Auto. At this time, we do not anticipate any disruption to our live game services, nor any long-term effect on the development of our ongoing projects. Once they've taken the source code, this is the same code that they use for GTA 5. So please be aware, if you have an account in GTA 5, it's probably something that you want to do is change your passwords. I have to make sure that I'm covered. They go on to say, we're extremely disappointed to have any details of our next game shared with you all in this way. Our work on the next Grand Theft Auto game will continue as planned, and we will remain committed as ever to delivering an experience to you, our players, that truly exceeds your expectations. We will update everyone again soon, and of course, we'll properly introduce you to this next game when it is ready. We want to thank everyone for their ongoing support through this situation, the Rockstar Games team. Holy shit. And look, the footage that got out, we'll talk about it through the panel. We're going to cover this whole thing. But the footage that got out, there was a lot of people ragging on it, saying that, it's terrible, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't look next gen. Guys, it's pretty much the next step after a wireframe. There's no polish on this. This is just making sure the mechanics are working, making sure everything in the world's going to fit together. Like, to me, it looks really good. And what you want to look at is mechanics, not graphics. And anyone looking at graphics is probably doesn't know what they're talking about. And then some more developed on this story. And you guys will have to excuse me in the panel. I know I'm in a talky mood. I'll go to you in a second. So something else developed. The UK police actually have arrested this guy, and they released a tweet saying, on the evening of Thursday, 22nd of September 2022, the City of London police arrested a 17-year-old in Oxfordshire on suspicion of hacking as part of an investigation supported by NCA UK's National Cybercrime Unit, NCCU. He remains in police custody. I mean, this is craziness. That they were able to get into the system. I don't know the ins and outs of getting into the system. I am in a bit of a dev Discord, and there was some talk about whether he actually didn't hack like you would think he would. Basically, what they did, from what what he's saying, this is not a guarantee of what happened, but from what this guy's saying, he thinks happened, is this guy's befriended someone. That guy's been able to get into his socials, have a look around his socials, and then contact people that have these passwords, pretending that they were this person, and that person's handed over their passwords so that he could get into the system. So again, something for everyone to be careful of. If someone's asking you for any passwords or anything that seems even slightly out of the ordinary, do not offer those up, and you would think you would know better as a dev. Sensei, what is your credit card number? What is your PIN number? Let me know in the chat, 90.
Get a pen and paper, 4567-8910 and 911 with the FBI right after that. And then security code is 911. No, listen, man, when it comes to this thing, like, I guess we can all say, like, we've been wanting a GTA 6 to be announced for quite some time now. We've been wanting to move off from GTA 5 and all the online stuff. And here you got, before we knew it was a 17-year-old kid, go ahead and get that information and leak out like 90 minutes or like 90 screenshots or whatever it was, but a lot of information. And like everybody else, I checked it out, wanted to see it, and confirmed a couple of things that I'm excited for, Vice City and, female heroine or whatever you want to call it. That kind of stuff is in there. Unfortunate people are judging, this kind of leak as, oh, it looks ugly, it looks bad. That's unfortunate. They don't know what a build, early build looks like or how development works when they call it like that, which is a shame. It's just frustrating, though, coming from, I can only imagine that the developers of this game, probably working on it for years, wake up on a Sunday of all days, Sunday morning here in the States, and to get was it not Sunday morning? It was Sunday night actually, and to get their phones were probably blowing up saying, "Hey, our stuff got hacked. Our source code is out there. We need everybody all hands on deck." That's it's years of work. Years of work. Art. It's an art that they craft. They've been doing this for quite some time, and they've been putting their blood, sweat, and tears into this kind of work to only be told late on a Sunday evening, "Hey, guess what? Your stuff, your work has been hacked. The source code's out there, and potentially, can ruin the game." Meaning they would have to restart and hit the reset button to start all that again. Because if you guys don't know, that source code, like you said, Riskin, it is the bread and butter of a game. It's what you see on your screen is underneath that. So having the source code, like you said, can mean hacking. It can mean, bringing down servers, not being able to play the game when it comes out and launches, manipulate it to whatever you want to manipulate it to. So it's frustrating. I'm sure it's frustrating as a gamer to see that because I've been wanting GTA 6. So, we don't know how long that delayed the game for, even though Rockstar did come out and says, we know what we're doing. We updated everything and kind of hinted there was no delay to it. But when something that big gets leaked out, they have to scrub everything, have to make sure that there's none of the integrity of that code has been, nullified or that kind of stuff. So it's frustrating to see that kind of news, but I'm happy that, that they did catch the kid. And they did, whatever happens, whatever the outcome is, it's unfortunate. The kid went for clout chasing, and this is what today and age, what clout chasing looks like. You want to go for big speculation, you want them numbers, them whatever he was going for, but it's all clout chasing. I hope it was worth it, man, because it looks like Rockstar will go ahead with the book, man.
Well, look at
the UK police.
Apparently, he was trying to sell it back. Well, not apparently, he was trying to sell it back to Rockstar.
No, he was.
Yeah.
So, and that's a rookie mistake. That's a rookie move. But he is 17. That comes with the territory, not knowing how to deal with that kind of stuff. And try to shop it around and try to send it back to the people you took it from, which is weird. But man, like I said,
of the Cyberpunk hack, wasn't it?
Yes, very, very similar to that. Very. But it's hopefully Rockstar. It wasn't too bad as far as what happened to that code and everything. Hopefully Rockstar can get their hands around that stuff and make sure everything's scrub it out, make sure everything's well. And it hopefully doesn't delay anything moving forward, because like everybody else, I'm waiting for that GTA 6, man. Now that it's like kind of Vice City confirmed, I cannot wait, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm pretty excited. Just some of the robberies that were going on, just the basic robbery, a little bit more detailed. It was very much, in Red Dead, you'd go in, those robberies were a little bit more iterated on. You go in Red Dead, you put your gun to them, hands up. They might call the cops or whatever, and all that sort of stuff. But this one looks like it's a little bit more in depth. You know what I mean? You're keeping crowd control happening while you're like robbing the till, man. That's it just reminds me of my real life,
like a heist type of thing. Yeah,
definitely
your real life.
Definitely doesn't remind me of my real life. Please, guys, don't commit crimes. Crimes are bad. Logic. Anyway, moving on. Look, you obviously saw a fair bit of these GTA 6 hacks. What were your thoughts on the footage you saw, man? Are you excited? What do you think about 17-year-old? And I think DeliverX in the chat there said this kid's got a bright future. And man, look, seriously, that kid probably does have a bright future, man. So, what were your thoughts on the entire GTA 6 saga?
Yeah, I mean, over the I guess it's yet to be seen. I'm sure we'll find out more too about that, because that'll all be public information, what they decide to do with them, how far they go with pressing charges and all that stuff. But generally too, speaking like even from that hacker perspective, because he was a part of a hacker group supposedly called Lapras, I believe. That's another thing, as well as a 17-year-old kid. I believe that's who he was tied to. So, I know you had mentioned gang, but I believe it was just like a hacker group, and they've done hackings before. So it's not like this was his first rodeo. It just so happened to be this was Rockstar, and like he was trying to flip that information that he stole to get, a quick buck, basically, to make a quick buck. But as far as the stuff, seeing it, like I've been banging that drum on our podcast for well over a year now, being like, because I mean, ever since, them talking about re-releasing, next gen versions of GTA 5 for, the God only, I mean, we've been dealing with GTA 5 for 9 years, not saying that it's a bad game, it's a good game, but it's just 9 years. So it's like, I'd like to see the evolution, what's next. of that. And even from what the stuff, it's early, obviously, what they showed. Some people were saying that some of that footage could have been possibly taken from 2016, from 2018. But like you said, it was just right after wire images. And then just seeing some of the mechanics, it looked like they had some Red Dead 2 mechanics in there, which seemed pretty interesting as far as in those robberies and stuff. And also just Vice City. I've been dying to go back to Vice City. That personally, outside of probably GTA 4, Vice City was probably my favorite GTA. So I'm just really excited to go back there. Obviously it's unfortunate the information came out the way it did. I mean, as a gamer, I'm excited, and to always see information early to see what's coming down the pipeline. But unfortunately, like to echo what Kills was saying, how it could potentially affect the developers' work, because at the end of the day, that statement that Rockstar put out, that was basically to try to ease the stockholders and shareholders of Take-Two, the parent company, just to pump the brakes, unfortunately, because anytime there's a breach, you go and it happened over the weekend. So Monday morning, 9:00 over here on the East Coast, ding ding ding, bell rings over at the stock exchange, and you're down. I think the reported number was $500 million they lost. I mean, with a $20 billion market evaluation, we're talking about Activision Blizzard valued at $70 billion. So, losing $500 million isn't a small number within a matter of 30 minutes to an hour. So it's, they got to pretty much recover for that. And I think they will. I'm not going to sit here and try to, cry tears for Take-Two and everything that they do when it comes to gaming and how they market their games and stuff. But as far as GTA, I'm really excited to see what comes forward. More information when they decide to release it. Hopefully this doesn't set them back, even though they said it won't. But I feel like, we didn't have a date anyway. We didn't know. We were all speculating. Maybe they show us something during December, during Game Awards. Maybe we get a little bit teaser early next year. Maybe something. I mean, this game probably wasn't coming out for at least another year and a half, 2 years anyway. So, I really don't know what to expect now with this information. But I guess we'll just wait and see.
Well, look, they promised that there's going to be no delays, but I think with something like this, I can't see how they would get around not delaying. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see how it all kind of pans out. Pete, I'm going to go to you and just look, I know you got a chance to check out the videos. What were your thoughts on the game? And what do you think about this 17-year-old kid, man? It is impressive. I mean, it's wrong, shouldn't be done. I'm definitely not condoning it. But I'm a little bit impressed that the kid's 17. And apparently, from what they were saying in the chat down here, this is not his first time. So he's an old hat, apparently.
Yeah, look, there's no doubt it's impressive. It is incredibly impressive that a 17-year-old was able to devise, this hack. I don't think it was too, it was, there was too much there. I think a lot of people could have done it. It was, a very simple hack. I think Google pointed out that he basically just got the camera on one of the workstations, and then just watched him type in his password and got the password that way. And it does depend on what part of the source code he got. So I'm reading from Gizmodo here, and this is a little bit technical, but it says, understanding the issue requires a little bit of background to the game's architecture. Today's online multiplayer games are essentially designed to stop players from cheating. That's basically the whole point behind multiplayer games, the way they do it. And it's split into two parts, the server-side code and then the client-side code, which basically runs on your Xbox or phone or whatever. And basically the client code informs whatever input you put into the game, then goes back to the server, and then they input that into the game. Now, if he got the client code, it's not too much of a problem. It really, really isn't. If he got the server code, on the other hand, he can manipulate that code drastically and change the game, drastically, where, he's going to be able to get cheating on a scale that, we really don't want to be able to, we don't want to see. And I don't really know how they will be able to get around it, because he basically has the build, right in front of him, unfortunately. Whether or not this, and I think that will determine whether or not this game sees any delays. In terms of the actual gameplay that we saw, I don't know who would be saying that the game looks bad. I mean, this is pre-alpha, most likely. You know, alpha at best. I don't think it's alpha. They haven't put any layers of graphics on top of it. In terms of what I saw, it looked great. The gameplay looked fantastic. The way that the crowd reacted to you was excellent. The strip club part was awesome. I'm just joking. Yeah, look, so that look, that is what will determine whether or not it's delayed or not. We all want to see GTA 6. The sooner the better. I'm so sick of the GTA Online. I think a lot of the community are. We've been crying out for news for GTA 6. Unfortunately, we got it this way. It is incredibly unfortunate. To the people in the chat saying that this kid's got a bright future, I think he had a bright future. I think that he pissed it all away by doing something like this. Gone are the days that if you hacked the FBI or the CIA, the American government would then hire you. You pretty much need to have a clean sheet when it comes to jobs these days. And so I really hope he hasn't ruined any future career he could have had because, obviously the kid's incredibly bright. And it's disappointing. I will just say that this also happened to Cyberpunk 2077, and they did refuse to buy the code back from the person that stole it. So they did sell it out there on the dark web. Now, there were numerous reports on how much it sold for. Some reports said it sold for more than 7 figures. I don't know if that's true, but it didn't break the game. No one went into the game and, devised massive cheats out of it. And so I hope that might give us some kind of indication that it won't happen for GTA. Or that's my hope anyway. But I mean, what do you think about this, Umbra? What did you think about the game itself?
Yeah, when I was just talking about it with Panda and the gang a while ago. And if you remember, Pete, we were on game night last week, and I saw it, and I was like, man, Pete, guys, they're talking about GTA 6, got leaked. You remember that?
Yeah, man. Yep.
And I thought, when I originally saw it, I'm like, is this it? This can't be it. I'm like, this doesn't look that good to me. And then we kept playing the game, and I came back to look at it some more, and I'm like, nah, it's actually not that bad looking. I don't know if you all remember that, but I was just like, it's not that terrible looking, actually. And this is pre-alpha footage right here. They don't have any of the polish. They don't have any of the actual stuff really put into place to really make it shine. And like you guys said, this could be a build from 2017 for all we know. The game came out in 13? Or no, actually,
5 came out in 13.
Yeah, it was 13. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this could be a build from 2017 or something for all we know. And
what it showed me, Umbra, is the game's closer to release than we actually thought.
Yeah, I agree. I think maybe a year or two from now, I would think it'll probably be at that point.
You know what? I haven't even watched any of the footage. I refuse to.
You're not going to spoil this. I'll say this. You won't spoil yourself if you see it.
No, I know. I feel like watching it gives it attention that it doesn't need. Like, I don't want to support this kind of behavior.
But you know what?
Like,
I'll say this. Even if you feel that way, you doing it by yourself is not going to stop millions that have already seen it. You see what I mean? And also on top of that, I don't think this hurt them. As I said to Panda in the group, I think this helped them because despite those who are not understanding and saying it doesn't look good, despite that, I think it built up enough hype for GTA 6. Now, to be fair, they don't need it, right? It's Grand Theft Auto. To be fair, and I'm pretty sure you all were like, it's Grand Theft Auto. They don't need it.
That's very true.
But I don't think it killed any hype. I don't think it killed any momentum they had going for it.
It wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt the fact of getting it in the out there. Even though they didn't want it out there yet, but the fact that now it's a buzz. With a little negative press, but it's out there now. So now everybody is like, I want to see the real. I want to see the polish. I want to see the polish. I'm ready so I'm with you on that for sure.
See, you feel me exactly. That's exactly where I see it. I don't think it hurt them at all. I think it helped them. And I can understand, though, from the devs' point of view and Rockstar themselves, I'm sure they were disappointed that it got shown off this way. I know they want to show the best of its, in its best case of scenario, right? But I look at the silver lining when it comes to these types of things. That's how I am. I'm optimist. And looking at this, I know this didn't hurt them in the long run. It's not going to hurt them. The game is still going to sell millions. They're still going to make $1 billion plus in a day or something like that. You know what I mean? It's not going to do anything negative to them. So I say that to say, Cutie, look at that lady with the badunka-dunk in this dang trailer. Watch a view or two. And that surprised me, by the way. That's the thing that threw me off. That's what threw me off the most, because they showed the lady. I'm like, she is thick as hell. This can't be a Grand Theft Auto character. I'm like, this lady, this sister, hold on. This is a Hispanic sister right here with all that back there.
Well, she came out herself and said, it's a Puerto Rican lady. She came out herself and said she's the main person. She's the lady in the game. She's already confirmed it.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Yeah, see, you could tell it was
IMDb and everything.
Yeah, you could tell it was a Hispanic woman. I'm like, she got a little something back there. Yeah.
Jesse B asked the question, do you think studios should show more pre-alpha footage after games are released to make that side of the industry less secretive and take away any incentive to leak these kind of things?
You know what?
What do you think?
You know what, Pete? Let me say this really quick before you go. One of my points I was going to make is on the fact that I don't think it hurt them. Somebody I actually saw on Twitter said literally just what you just said, actually, Pete. They said they would like to see more pre-alpha type footage. And as you guys know, a lot of devs came behind them and were like, oh, this is what our game looks like pre-alpha before graphics and everything are applied and all of that. And people were like intrigued by that. I know I was. I was like, oh, this is how that looked. And a matter of fact, Cutie, I think, and this is the lead to you now, you actually shared one with us on the Cult of the Lamb before the graphics were applied, right?
Yeah, I loved seeing that. But in saying that, I wouldn't have liked to see it before the game came out. Seeing the finished product and then seeing where it came from, I think is much, well, for me anyway, is a lot more satisfying. So, but yeah, if you haven't checked it out, on the Cult of the Lamb's Twitter page, they put side-by-side footage of some pre-alpha gameplay of Cult of the Lamb and then what it looks like now. And it's absolutely incredible. So definitely recommend watching that.
Look, and there is
my personal opinion. Oh, sorry, you're back, bro.
In reference to that question, there actually is a lot of these things out there. And if you have played Ori or Ori and the Will of the Wisps, in some of the extras, they've got pre-alpha game footage, concept footage as well, and it's basically a blob running around the thing. And from what they take, from that and then create from that is absolutely amazing. And I would agree. I'd like to see more of that. But I mean, we do get some of that as is. I don't know if any of you, I'm sure that all of you though, but I don't know if you have seen the God of War documentary about how it kind of came to being. That to me is what I want to see more of, not in specifically pre-alpha footage, but more how the game was put together, trials and tribulations, that sort of stuff really interests me. The development process as a whole, not just pre-alpha footage, and this is kind of where we got to. But the way that this has come out, Cutie, I 110% agree with you. It got a little bit, well, I mean, it's going to get massive amounts of oxygen. That's never going to not happen, but it sucks that it does get so much oxygen. I mean, that thing was around the internet so quickly, your head was spinning. There was footage everywhere. I don't know if you can find any now, but it does look really good. And this is the thing that I kind of wanted to ask the panel as well. Seeing the iterations on what Rockstar can do with their games, and Pete, you mentioned Cyberpunk, and we had a conversation about Cyberpunk last night. I mean, and GTA 5 was a 360 game. It's that era. It's that 8th gen era, and their reactions of the crowd, the way the NPCs react to you in the world, the way the cars react, all that sort of stuff was like really ahead of its time. And what Rockstar can do is just phenomenal. What they have done. I mean, I'd like to see what they can do now. I don't think it's a good basis, because it's been a lot of years. I don't know if they've got all the same devs, the same team. But I'm really interested to see where they take this game, what they can do mechanically, what they do with the NPCs. I think that's where we're going to see next gen. We're going to see, AI and physics. And people talk about next gen, it doesn't look next gen. Well, look, we're not talking about looking next gen. I think graphics, there's only so far we can take graphics, but it's your AI it's your physics and how the world reacts to you and how immersive that world is. I'm pretty excited to see what they do with it. DoomCutie, what are you kind of hoping to see from GTA 6? Any little cool things that you're hoping that you'll see from the team at Rockstar?
Oh gosh, I don't know if anything specifically. I mean, obviously, having a female protagonist is just going to open up the story, of that character in GTA a little bit more. So I am excited about that because it's a new kind of character development that Rockstar haven't done in GTA. So. And yeah, I'm excited to. I'm with some of you guys. I really loved Vice City, and going back to that place is going to be a lot of fun. And especially comparing it to how it was before to now, because Brisket, you're right. It's been 13 years. Like, I don't know who is doubting that GTA 6 isn't going to be good, because it is. I don't need leaked footage to know that it's going to be a good game. So yeah.
Absolutely, they definitely got the chops to make a good game. I'm personally hoping that we get more verticality. More buildings open up. We often have complete built cities, but you have these buildings that you can't really go into, or you can go into a room. I'd like to see them build out some of these and populate some of these buildings to give it more of a lived-in feel. Personally, Pete, what are you hoping to see from GTA 6?
Look, more of the same. I just hope they don't tone it down. There's been a trend in the industry to not put in more a darker narrative, I would say. I would explain it as. I know that there was a little bit of a pushback to the Trevor scene, for example, in GTA 5. Now, that scene was difficult to play through, no doubt. But it was also incredibly impactful, and it's one of the scenes that I still remember when I think of GTA 5, and I hope that they do stick with that. I hope that they don't tone their game down. I don't think they will. Whenever a GTA game releases, there's always outcry from, the broader community that aren't gamers. We can't be showing this to our kids and, all that kind of stuff. Well, you shouldn't be. The game's rated R in Australia. I'm not sure what rating it gets in America, but, it's given that rating for a reason. These games aren't made for children. And so that's what I would hope. I think we're going to get it. Rockstar haven't let me down so far. Red Dead Redemption 2 was, an amazing game. So, yeah, that's what I hope to see.
Yeah, look, absolutely. And just in reference to what Cutie was saying about the characters, from what we've seen, it looks like in that Trevor Michael story where they're all kind of jumping between the three of them, I think that's the route it seems that they're going. So they are having a female protagonist, they are having a male protagonist, and a lot of people thought, and I think we talked about that you may be able to choose one or the other, but it seems that you'll be playing through them both from the leak.
You'll play as both.
Yeah.
And we heard from, we talked about it on a previous podcast, Triska. They're going for that Bonnie and Clyde aspect, and I love the sounds of that. I think it's fantastic. Anyone saying that playing as a female protagonist in GTA isn't a good thing is just absolutely brain damaged, I think. It opens up to a lot more storylines that we haven't seen. And so I'm really, really looking forward to it.
You know what I would love? I would love to own one of those strip clubs, but be in there, as the chick. I think that would be so much fun, and I think it would really lend to the story. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah,
maybe she used to work there, and then she's the manager, and then she's oh, I'm a boss lady now. I don't know.
I know a couple of girls like that. Logic, sorry, you were going to say I was going to you next, so let's bang on.
Yeah. No, I was going to say, just actually, it's funny that Doom just mentioned that, because there was literally a mechanic in the original Vice City that allowed you to buy the nightclub. That way, I mean, you could buy other properties, and they would basically just became save spots around Vice City.
Yeah,
but you were able to buy the nightclub, and I praying for a game. I go back to I don't know if you guys remember Godfather. for original Xbox, and it was on PS3. A game like that allows you to just like, I mean, I don't necessarily want to be a mobster and go around and extort businesses, but just in that vein though, buy a business and then like almost like have that thing where like you're running the business, but as like a side game, little thing, as to then just being like, okay, but that's my legitimate business while I go out here and I rob people and I, do other nefarious things or whatever.
Yeah,
like, I think that would be really cool. And then even to speak on like what Doom and you guys were saying as well too, like imagining Vice City. I mean, since it's all more or less like confirmed that that's what we're getting now, seeing the Vice City that we're going to get now versus the Vice City that we got from the the original game, just seeing that difference between what they're able to do with the tech now in that game, the way the NPCs, the way the AI is going to work, just how much more of a living city it's actually going to be. And then even like, because even when you look at GTA 3 and then GTA 4, like Liberty City, how they was, because essentially GTA 4 was supposed to be it's Liberty City, same thing. I wouldn't say so much so for San Andreas and 5, Los Santos and things like that, but I would be just really, I mean, it was 2 islands, Vice City, so to see what they potentially do now in the new Vice City, I mean, I saw one of the leaked photos that was like a metro, like a rail line, which they do have in Miami. So it's like, just so if they're able to incorporate things like that, I mean, it's just the gameplay and just the vision that they could potentially, just the amount of fun that could be in that game. It just sets it up for a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to all of that potentially. I'm hoping a lot of that comes to fruition.
Yeah, absolutely, and I hope they just kind of open up the story as well and get, like Pete said, get very, very dark. With it, because I like that kind of dark stuff. It's what you remember. I'll jump to you, Sensei. But before I do, I'll just say to the guys in the chat, please hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new here. We go live 8 p.m. EST every Friday. And I'll just answer one of the questions. DeliverX, he said, do in Australia you use inverted control schemes? I think he's having a dig because we're in the Southern Hemisphere, but I don't. Pete does. It's weird. Inverted control scheme's odd. I don't think, I don't know how he does it, but there you have it.
It's the only way to play.
Definitely very backwards. I think that's what he's getting at. We'll go to you, Sensei. Look, what are you hoping to see from GTA 6?
Well, I gotta go with Cutie. I hope I can live my fantasies as a Chippendale stripper. I buy a stripper and
Oh my God,
just be part of that world. It's always been a lifelong dream. No, I'm playing.
Guys trying to be Magic Mike over here and shit. Way to go, Kills.
Well, Magic Mike is based after me. Anyways,
yes. Oh, what? Yes. Okay, I'm here for it.
Settle down.
Listen. In Vegas, no, Doom. You ever come? Real quick, I'm sorry, Kills. You ever come over here to the States? You go to Vegas, Thunder Down Under. Just saying. I know you got
Thunder Down Under, baby.
Thunder Down Under. They have that.
Again,
that's a show.
named after me. Anyways,
oh my God.
So the GTA. What I hope to see from GTA. Look, listen. I'm a sucker for what they did in GTA 5. The way the narrative went, that you jump from character to character, and each one was unique in its own world, and how they did come together at the end and what they did, and then you add the Bonnie and Clyde aspect to that is pretty damn awesome. And if you don't know the story of Bonnie and Clyde, it does end in a tragic way, but I'm hoping to see more of that. But here's what I want to see. I want to see something where maybe, just maybe, they tie in other GTA worlds to it, like Liberty City, just visit it, or some character from there where you're having a conversation with them. Just tie some of those stories together from those kind of worlds and universes, just to make that the MCU version of GTA, just to make that world more lively. I would hope for something like that. That would be cool. But I'm more for keep what you got going from GTA 5, just expand on that and grow on that, And that whole Bonnie and Clyde thing, that's just an amazing thing. And I can't wait to play as a Boricua, in the world of GTA. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think they've probably got a little bit of scope there when they add that female character to make her like crazy talking.
Yes.
I've forgotten her
Sassy
name.
And
yeah. What's the name of that chick? Joker's missus. Come on, brain.
Harley?
Harlequin, like a very Harlequin-esque type of character. Yeah. Funny. Like,
I just want to lose my shit in the game. Like, I just want to go full mental.
Yeah, exactly. And but and just have that humor.
Trevor.
And they
punch up the other guy's car.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Have that full humor in the game, you know, where it's, you know, and that with that Harlequin kind of has brought. Umbra, what are you hoping to see from GTA 6? And then we'll jump on to the next topic.
I'm hoping it stays largely the same as past games, man. The biggest problem with a lot of these gaming things, and I guess Rockstar has kind of avoided it in some ways, but I think the biggest problem with games that to stay the way that were, in that sense of, you know, that seriousness where it doesn't have to cater to social needs, like Pete was pointing out. The problem is that we have a more modern society now where people are more, you know, quick to jump on and make things controversial. Oh, they said this word here. Oh, they said this. Let's boycott this game. You see what I mean? So they're going to have to be careful on how they navigate saying some of the things they used to say and get away with in past games. So I'm just hoping that it doesn't fall into that trap of having to be too PC. That's my biggest thing for Grand Theft Auto. Vice City, like Cutie mentioned, that's actually my favorite in the series. I love Vice City, and it's largely due to the soundtrack. You know, I love 80s music. So that got me immediately. The whole pastel color situation of the 80s they were set in and all that helped a lot too. So I'm hoping that if anything, they show a nice city life, populated city, nice neon lights near the beach. You see the ladies walking around in the bikinis. You see the guys working out on the beach like they are out in California, for instance, and a Muscle Beach. All these types of things that bring life into the game. And I know the thing is, I know Rockstar is going to do that because they done so for Red Dead Redemption 2. Red Dead Redemption 2, as you often hear me talk about, is a masterpiece, largely because of how engrossing that world is. So that's what I want for them. I want them to make this world really engrossing. I want it to be, you know, I want the story, to me, I'll say this, Part 5 story to me was okay. It didn't grab me and grip me the way Part 4 did. It didn't grip me the way Vice City did. It didn't grip me the way Part 3 did. I thought Part 5 was good. I think they had larger than life characters, better than other past characters, but the story itself didn't wow me as much. What I loved about Part 5's campaign or story, whatever, was the heists. I thought that was great. So I do hope that, and in seeing one of the videos, it shows a bit of that. Somebody robbing somebody. I hope they actually go through with that again and bring that forward to this. So I hope there is that. And I believe it was either Sensei or Logic that mentioned about the aspect of changing characters that they liked. I like that as well in Part 5. So I hope that, well, not hope, I know they're going to do it, but I just want to see how they're going to implement that in between you switching between the male guy, the character, and the female character. So I'm just interested in seeing how they do that. But my biggest hope is that they don't cater to today's crowd to the point of hiding their creativity and being offensive as they used to be, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope they don't either. You know, I hate to use the moniker or the words "go woke." Sorry. Well, I don't want to do either. But I really hope they kind of keep to the same sort of cadence that they've had. You know, with that edgy kind of, you know, just kind of pushing the boundaries. And I think that's what we like to see with GTA. Look, I've got a question from the chat that is related to GTA, so we'll hit that question, then we'll move on. Favorite character from the GTA 5 game? Franklin was cool. Michael was cool. You know, the son was cool. You know, Michael's son was cool. But look, to me,
Trevor.
It's got to be Trevor. He was a nutcase. Umbra, your favorite character?
Yeah, it was Trevor. No question.
No, yeah.
He said
That's why I
GTA
said
3. Yeah, he said GTA 3, I think.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's GTA 3 or 5? Which one?
Oh no, I did think you said which would you would like to see return.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Oh,
Which of
okay.
the 3 GTA 5 main protagonists do you want to return? All right.
I was going to say in 3 we only had Clyde, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, in GTA 5, if I wanted to see anybody return, it would definitely be Trevor. But that's my point. That they were so
I think
outlandish.
everyone's going to pick Trevor.
Yeah, he was so bigger, larger than life in that game. I don't think you can pick anybody but him.
Yeah,
Michael was more refined and laid back. Franklin was cool, but not as over the top as Trevor.
Yeah, he kind of overshadowed
I didn't like Franklin. I did not click with Franklin at all.
He kind of overshadowed the the entire cast, I think.
I think so.
Yeah, Sensei, Logic, Cutie, Pete. Do you have anyone else other than Trevor you'd like to see return?
Lindsay Lohan. Trevor.
Oh, wow.
You know what? I really liked Lester. I have a bit of a soft spot for genius criminal nerds.
Wait a minute. Lester was the guy with the glasses, right?
Yeah.
I remember him now. I'm like, who's Lester?
Remember we used to have to do. I'm sorry, go ahead, Doom.
No, it's okay.
Oh, I was going to say you used to have. I remember Lester. Once you got working with him, Franklin, you used to have to do the assassin missions for him. He used to send you out and go do those assassin missions. But
That's
the people that he had you go and kill, remember that he had Michael go and kill one of the head of basically what was supposed to be Facebook in the game.
I remember.
It's just the vindictive. Some of it was to make money because he was making bets on the marketplace to make sure he made money off of it. But also too, it's because he had a vendetta against it. He didn't like them for whatever reason. He didn't like how they operated, so that he would literally go and just be like, "No, I want him dead."
Look, there's a bit of
imagine a more refined version of him plunked in the modern day of Vice City or wherever they're trying to fit in, trying to be cool, running some sort of operation.
Bit of duality there, though, Cutie, because you were pretty damning about the 17-year-old that hacked GTA 6, but then you were criminal mastermind you've got a soft spot for. So I don't know.
No. I didn't say he's doing it because the companies are corrupt, or he just has a vendetta against them, not because he's trying to, He's not 17, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's an age thing. Look,
it is. I like him older.
Grey Monad has thrown something into the mix that I kind of want to talk about, and thank you, Monad, for letting us know this. And it wasn't a topic, but we're going to make it a topic. I was going to jump to talking about Call of Duty, but we'll come back to that. Grey Monad in the chat there said,
as long as they don't bring back Jimmy, Michael's son, I'm happy. I hated that kid.
Yeah, I didn't like him.
Oh yeah,
I could not stand that
kid.
Look,
terrible.
I personally love the kid. He's a bit of a dick, and I like that. I like that about him. That's basically.
We know you like. Yeah, we know you like.
That's basically every kid, though. You know, any kid between the ages of 15 to 20, you can just about put that label on kids in that age. Dicks. Anyway, moving on.
So enabling to him.
Anyway, moving on. Grey Monad in the chat. Great question, and it does bring up a bit of a critical topic. We have talked about it before, but I want to talk about it again. He said that Marvel Midnight Suns is going to get the same release date as Callisto Protocol. That's going to murder that game in sales. It's going to murder that game in player count. It's going to absolutely destroy it. And I think it's going to be a problem that we are going to see throughout 2023, maybe even going into 2024. And I think it's a massive problem that Xbox has got now, where to put these games. It's something that Matt Booty brought up, I believe, after the showcase when he was talking to some people. And I think even Hargeet had a chat to Matt Booty, Hargeet in the chat there, and he kind of mentioned this. Look, it got a bit of an issue, though, Xbox. They got so much coming next year. Is where are they going to find the spots for it? And this is disappointing to me because I know Callisto Protocol is a day one for me, and I was going to get Marvel Midnight Suns. I'm a big XCOM fan. But now I won't. I'll make the decision because, you're talking, if I buy those two games off the rack, we're talking about $240 Australian. That's a lot of money to outlay. So I'm going to sit back and wait and see how Marvel Midnight Suns does. And I'll be playing Callisto Protocol because I know that thing's going to be amazing. It's Glenn Schofield. He's an absolute champion. Look, Logic, I'll go to you. How do you think Microsoft's going to manage all these games coming? Are we going to see delays for extra polish or to add extra features just because they've got so much to launch, that month, the next month? Do you think that Microsoft will have to start doing that?
So I guess of all the problems that you'd want to have, I guess that would probably be the one. It's like, where the hell am I going to fit all of my games that's supposed to come out because I couldn't get them, out in 2022, right? So I don't necessarily see it as a problem. I think just see it as something that they're going to have to manage. Some of these, I don't think every game that they had was, had set dates. Obviously we had that 12-month period where they told us these are the games that are coming in 12 months. And I think, as we get into next year and we kind of see it, or maybe even towards like the December, we might even get a better picture about other games and certain hard dates and stuff like that. But honestly, I think there's so much variety between all the different games. I'm not worried about necessarily games overshadowing and stepping on each other, especially too when you think about it from even a first party perspective. These games are also all coming on Game Pass, as far as like their titles. So it's just going to be a matter of, okay, they're there. I don't have to worry about it. I have my subscription. They're there, and I will get to them when I can. And that's hopefully how I would hope people would look at that and be like, and some games, obviously you want to kind of give them a little bit of breather, but it's just what it's going to be at the end of the day. They got to get the games out. Maybe they do delay a game here or there if it needs it. I think some studios might be able to get afforded that opportunity if they need the time. It would be like, a beautiful accident. Maybe a studio, they go to a studio and X studio says, oh, maybe we could use a couple more weeks, a couple more months. And then Microsoft's like, all right, yeah, take it, because you might as well, right? But honestly, I don't really see it being too much of a problem, to be honest. I just think they're happy that they're going to have something to go pretty much every month of the year. And that's what's exciting.
Yeah, well, I think it's kind of at the point now where it's if they don't have something to go almost every month, every second month, there's no real excuses left.
Absolutely.
For Microsoft. Look, I'll go over to you, Pete. What do you think? The Ford Falcon GTO Phase 3.
Neither of these games are first party. Neither is these games on Game Pass. Both those games have a massively different core audience. I don't think it's a problem. For me, it's not even a question. I'm not interested in Marvel Midnight Suns at all. I don't like those type of games. I am massively interested in Callisto Protocol, so I can't wait for that game.
Right, but you don't see... That's pretty short and sweet, but succinct, Pete. You don't see that Microsoft's going to have issues releasing games going into the future, cannibalizing each other.
Well, they definitely will next year. 100% they're going to next year, and even not just first-party games that they've signed deals with for Game Pass. I believe, if anyone going into Game Pass is going to want a little bit of breathing room, I think that they could divvy up their first-party games a little bit better, but games releasing into Game Pass is going to be, I think, a little bit more of an issue for them going forward, and I do see a little bit of a problem there. And companies like Microsoft can divvy up their games because their shareholders aren't really going to mind whether, they're always going to be making money whatever a quarter it releases. Third-party companies, on the other hand, are most likely going to want to fit into, whatever they thought that they were going to be earning on that particular quarter, and therefore they're going to want their game to be released when it's ready. I can definitely foresee a problem when it comes to that.
Well, absolutely. And as a console and a hardware maker, Sensei, do you think that Microsoft's also going to be very careful about stepping on the toes of their third-party partners?
Third-party partners, I think when it comes to that has to do with third parties. If the games are going to be ready to go or not ready to go, they control that more of that narrative. The third party does. Xbox just worries about they need. I think the way. Okay, let me take this back. I think the way they're using third party now, and I'll probably get roasted for this, is to fill the Game Pass needs right now. As far as what games can we play, there's no first party titles dropping every month right now. It will eventually. So the third party right now is being used as that kind of filler kind of thing. But once these first parties start coming out from Xbox, I think the third party stuff, not that there'll be less, it won't be the main focus of Game Pass. What third parties next to be put on there? Because they have all these acquisitions they've got with the Bethesda, and now with the Activision. And once that closes, they're gonna have so many games first party related that they're not gonna have a problem with dropping it every month, every 2 months, or however they see fit. So I don't think when it comes to third party, once these first party titles start releasing the way they need to be releasing, the third party stuff will be something where it's like complementary, because right now they're being used more of not much of a complementary, but more of a you can play these AAA titles that are not even ours on Game Pass. That'll kind of, in my opinion, it'll kind of view off into the whole. Now we're going to use it as complementary. Is my take on that.
My worry with that, Sensei, is, and I agree with you 100%. It'll end up being more complementary. But my worry with that is, will these companies and these third-party companies want to do more deals with Microsoft and Xbox going forward if they don't get the amount of players that they would intend to get for Game Pass if they are going up against, similar type of games or, other big names at the same time?
I would worry that, but historically now with the games that have been dropping on that day and date third party, they've been boosting their numbers, completely boosting the numbers when they drop it on there. I would think they might want to go into a different like, let's say, you know how the movies right now, they'll drop a movie in the theaters for a couple of weeks, even a month and a half or so, and then it hits a streaming service like a Netflix or something just to boost those numbers up. I would even think they'd do it in that kind of fashion where the game releases first on the market, and then once they see the numbers start dipping, they'll strike a deal with a Game Pass to bring those numbers right back up. I think they'll use it in that case. I don't think they will have a problem with that part where gamers won't play it. But at the end of the day, it's a subscription service. I as a consumer get to choose what I want to play, so let me have that problem and let them worry about what drops on Game Pass. But when it comes to like third-party developers worrying about if they're competing or not, they're doing that right now without the subscription service. Before even Game Pass existed, they were doing that anyway. They were competing with all the exclusive coming out and third party. Now we're just adding the dynamic of the Game Pass to it. So I don't think necessarily it'll be one of those, man, I can't release it on Game Pass because nobody's going to play it. People are still going to play it because at the end of the day, we're gamers and we want to consume as much games as we want, just like any subscription model is out there.
Well,
so that's how I look at it.
Just to add to that, and Kayasani in the chat said exactly, look at Netflix, same model. Before it was all about the huge movie dropping. Now it's about the Netflix original dropping. That's kind of my point, and it's a bit of a different, to me, it's a bit of a different kettle of fish. To me, I'm more talking about, say you've got Guardians of the Galaxy releasing, and say that's releasing at the same time as Hellblade. Slightly different games. But in the same vein, the third-person action over-the-shoulder adventure, right? Now, will Xbox, what I'm kind of worried about personally, and will Xbox say Guardians of the Galaxy releases just as a third-party traditional sales model, nothing to do with Game Pass? Will Microsoft be worried about stepping on the toes of those third-party publishers, dropping Hellblade? Because I think a lot of Xbox users would just turn around and go, well, look, I've got Hellblade for now, and I'll wait to play Guardians of the Galaxy, when there's a sale or when the price drops or if it comes to Game Pass. And I think we're seeing a lot of that happening already. And I just think when
you hit it on the nail. You hit it on the nail. They hit the nail on the head right there. Like, the choices and options are there. I already got Hellblade. Now, do I wait for a sale for a Guardians of the Galaxy, let's say, or do I buy it at full price? But the beauty of that is that you now saved yourself the $60, $70 on a Hellblade because it is coming to your subscription service, and now you can apply that to, I'm talking money in the States, obviously, $70 games. But then now you can apply that to, do I want to buy a game like Guardians of the Galaxy, or do I want to wait for a sale? At that point is a consumer's, point of view as far as FOMO is concerned. Like, do I want to, like, right now? Because you're going to have Hellblade just waiting there, whatever you want to play that, because it's on your subscription. So yeah, again, I don't think it'll be I don't think Microsoft stepping on third party like that would be a big issue, because at the end of the day, Xbox has to worry about their house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think you're absolutely right there. Umbra, do you foresee that there'll be more delays for Xbox's first party just based on the amount of releases that they have coming next year, knowing that Matt Booty made mention of that after the showcase?
It's interesting. I don't know if I would classify it necessarily as delays, because some of these don't have release dates. So it'll be just something that'll be pushed back strategically, if anything. So as we talked about before, because of the delays of this year, going into 2023 is going to be super stacked. So they can't cannibalize themselves. Skip the third party. Let's look at first party. If anything, that's who they would care more about. Not to say that they wouldn't care about their partners, but first party is the bigger issue. It's going to be so many first party games stacked on each other that they're going to be pushed into 2024. So if you're looking at it from that direction, Microsoft obviously wouldn't want their first party to dominate the third party either, but just less so first party, right? The thing is, I don't know if, let's say, Hellblade, which is rumored to come out in the second half of 2023, which makes sense going by the timeline that we've seen. that right there, I don't know if that would be enough to hurt sales for other games. And the reason why I say that, at least third party wise, is because people know that that's a first party game that's always going to be in the service. So they don't have to necessarily rush or feel the need of rushing to get to that, to play it, versus getting into a third party game that's, the talk of the town. So I don't know how that dynamic might work necessarily. But I think you all made great points, so I don't think I can really add much more than that. I think you all hit it on the head yourselves.
Absolutely, man. But look, I'll move on to the next topic that we were going to talk about. Before I do, guys, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share us out. We go live every Friday, 8 p.m. EST in the US and all over the world. Look, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, I want to talk about this because I've played a fair bit. I know Pete's played a fair bit. Sensei, Logic, you guys as well. And look, to me, this is a return to form. I know there's been a lot of complaints in the community about this is not real COD and this is not the hardcore gamers, and we can talk about it from that perspective as well, because it seems to be one specific side of the community that's basically being childish dicks. But look, there's a few things that are happening within Modern Warfare that I know that Umbra's not a really massive fan of the multiplayer segment of Modern Warfare. I think he's hoping to jump into it when the open beta hits, and I'm sure that Cutie will as well. But there is some things in there for those who don't really enjoy the PvP, and they are bringing some more PvP options, which is always fantastic. And I think it's something that they probably should have jumped onto it a lot earlier. And they've added a lot this year that really has brought me back to the franchise in a very hardcore way. I personally do like it. Pete said earlier that you can't play aggressively. I disagree. You absolutely can play aggressively, but you must, and this is not throwing shade at Pete, maybe a little bit, you must play intelligently. You can't run head on into a battle. You need to think about where they are, what they're doing. That's why I play a lot of objective based, because I know roughly where the enemy is going to be. I know where I can flank, and you don't always going to have a good game. That's COD for you. But what they are adding in the PvE segment of the game is raids, and they said here, I think it's IGN said here, raids are coming when Modern Warfare 2 Season 1 arrives on November the 16th, and will apparently be episodic missions that are each a few hours long. So basically, it's very light on details. We haven't heard much from them at the moment, but what they're saying is they'll be adding PvE missions every season, and bringing raids into the ecosystem, and I think that's an amazing thing. I do love the style of combat, and I do like co-op. They are 3-player raids only, so that's a little bit disappointing. I'd like to see them expand that into a bit of a larger raid. But to me, I'm pretty excited. I'm going to go to our guest this week. Sensei, what are your thoughts on the game so far? How are you finding it? What do you think of the content coming? What's your thoughts?
There's a lot when it comes to this game. I mean, when we did a stream of just when they dropped the whole thing at the champion, when they did the whole the showcase for it, and the amount of information that was dropped on how much content is coming for this game, it kind of lent light on why they moved to the 2-year model, which is it made a lot more sense once they talked about raids and DMZ and the multiplayer campaign, just everything. I think, well, I'm a little biased because for me, when it comes to the development cycle, my favorite developers in the COD universe is Infinity Ward, because they're always innovating the space. They're always trying to push forward. They run the perks into the Call of Duty thing. They were the ones to bring it first into the Call of Duty world. And then the war zone, they always try to innovate stuff. So it's in the history of COD, you're always going to get the one side that hates it, the one side that likes it. They can never say, agree to anything in the middle unless it's about SBMM. Everybody agrees to that, gotta go. But kudos to them doing different kind of content for anybody and everybody. PvE, PvP, you have your battle royale, you have your campaign, and now adding the raids, which is, story related kind of thing that pushes the narrative forward. Dropping that every season is something new to the actual world of Call of Duty. Again, I'm seeing why they're going that 2-year model. There's something for everybody in this game. Like, I can understand if somebody doesn't want to jump into it, if they haven't played COD in a while, you're still stuck in that main frame of it's the same old. But if you give this a try, it's one of those things where it's not just multiplayer anymore. It's a lot going on there. You got third-person mode. You got, again, I mentioned DMZ, which is more like a Tarkov style kind of a game mode where you have to save your, whatever weapons and drops you get, you have to bring it and extract it. If not, you lose it. Extraction shooters, what they call in these type of shooters now. If you into the battle royale scene, you have that. So there's a lot of content there. I've been playing it since yesterday when
it's almost as much content as Halo. It's close, very close.
But I didn't want to go there. I didn't want to go there. But in the world of content, they bar none. Like when it comes to Call of Duty, there's always content from day one, and then moving forward, they drop different things throughout the season. So I'm excited to see what other. Like I've been playing it since yesterday, like I mentioned. I'm enjoying it so far. I'm the kind of COD gamer though that rather than sitting there and complaining about what's missing or what needs to be fixed, I adapt and I keep playing and I move forward. I always talk to my wallet. I always say this: talk with your wallet. Like with example, I'm a COD fan, big time COD. I've had every COD in the history of COD. But when it comes to Vanguard, my mom bought it for me as a gift. I told her not to, but she did. I played it for about maybe a day or two, and I ended up deleting it because it wasn't my style. So that's how I go with Call of Duty nowadays and how I pick and choose. Sometimes people blend it in and think Infinity Ward, like all the CODs are the same, but you got to be a little bit more smart than that and think Infinity Ward does one style where Treyarch does another style. And Sledgehammer no longer is. But the content in this, I'm excited to see what Infinity has to bring to the table moving forward and how they're going to bring in those who are on the fence on it. Like, Umbra, I know he's on the fence on it. It is a steep price of $70 to buy this type of game. But if you're looking at it from the side of content side of things, if you're ever going to spend $70 and it's about content, this is what you want to spend $70 on if you're looking to play different styles of different content of a first-person shooter.
Yeah, absolutely.
So who's better? Who's better, you or Logic at Call of Duty?
I'm not even going to go there. We're not going to do that. But it's me.
Well, speaking of the man Logic, we'll go to Logic next. Who is better, and what are your thoughts on Modern Warfare 2 so far?
I mean, okay, so here's the thing. Without getting all sentimental and crazy about COD, I met that fucking guy that you just heard talking on Call of Duty, okay? That's we go back to 360 days. We go back to COD 4. So this is literally that's how long the friendship has been going on Call of Duty. So Call of Duty, it means a lot to me, especially now too, where the Call of Duty is a game like me and my dad, especially over the last couple of years, have really been like vibing and like going in. Like my dad's a heavy PC gamer. He basically showed me everything I know when it comes to PCs. So when we talk about, I didn't even have to say anything. The Call of Duty trailer came out. I sent him the trailer. He said, "Go to your BattleNet account." I opened up my BattleNet account and it said, "Thank you for pre-purchasing the Vault Edition of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. My dad bought me the game because he knows, similar to like what Sensei said, like our family knows like what COD means to us as gamers. So that's so initially too playing the beta. It's a Call of Duty beta. You get to test out the game. Guns are feeling cool. TTK is a little bit quick for core. We're hardcore gamers. We don't play core modes. So it's not going to mean anything once the real game comes out and we're all in hardcore lobbies and everyone's dying to 2 bullets anyway. So I think that's a lot of the complaints people have now where everybody's just dying really quick. The game definitely is faster than Modern Warfare 2019. If anybody hasn't picked up on that, even though they took out slide canceling, sort of, the dolphin diving mechanics back, it's a lot of fun. Guns feel really cool. I like what they did with the gun mechanic now, and I'm excited to see it going forward where you don't have to unlock scopes and attachments for every set of weapons that you want to go and use. You get to unlock all the assault rifle scopes and attachments. You get to unlock all the SMG attachments. So that's really good when it comes to quality of life stuff. And like Kills mentioned it before too, skill-based matchmaking, that's just been a killer, unfortunately, because you end up ending in lobbies that are just sweats, pretty much. You play against people that just, feel like they're at an MLG event with the lights on, and they're playing for $35,000. So that's the downside of that aspect, but overall, I'm really excited about it. I'm excited to play more of it, get to level 30, of course, to unlock those beta unlocks, and just get in and play with the boys. That's always been COD for me. And obviously look forward to the things like Kills had mentioned, DMZ, see what they do at Warzone 2.0. I wasn't big on the first Warzone, and then even like what you mentioned with Raid and stuff like that, and being able to play the campaign. I really like 2019 campaign. Those missions, I mean, I remember the mission they did in London where you basically had to clear the house at night, and that was like one of the most fun I've had playing a first-person shooter missions of that style. I mean, taking me back to like COD 4 style missions where you just had to sneak around, and even though that's not how the game was necessarily designed, they had those type of missions where you got to slow down the pacing of it, and you got to be tactical and going through this whole, narrative scene where you're trying to clear out a house full of like a terrorist cell. So I'm looking forward to see what they do now with the story in the new one, and obviously being able to play it a couple of days earlier before the multiplayer comes out. It should be pretty exciting.
Absolutely, and they're definitely going to step it up. They're clean, as Assassin said, and that clean house mission was absolute, just so a good, wow moment. And I think
so freaking cool.
Yeah, and Umbra played it fairly recently. I'll go to you, Umbra, and maybe you can talk on it from that perspective. It was just one of those moments when you hit that mission, you were just like, dude, I feel like I'm Spec Ops here. I feel like SAS, or I'm like someone deep in this. It really brought you into the story in a way that I haven't seen from COD in such a long time. So I do expect big things. And mentioning COD 4, the way that you could step out with, they had the airplane missions where you were like dropping bombs on people from on high. Just those different things to bring the story together, different mechanics to keep the game really interesting. Umbra, look, what are your thoughts from what you've seen, heard, and read about the game so far?
Well, from what I've heard, I've heard some complaints and everything. I think the overall general consensus is that it's a good game. Graphically, it's gorgeous. You have to give them credit. It looks really damn good. Them adding this third-person mode, even though brother Delarix, hold on, how do you say it? Right? Delarix. Yeah. He joked about it, saying they got a third-person mode, Umbra, casual, friendly. He's joking, but that's probably what I'll play. That's probably what I'll play. Like the TTK for Call of Duty has always been a thing for me. The TTK and the Twitch style. I don't know if it's a brother getting older. I don't know what it is, but I can't get it, man. It just doesn't gel with me. I can't do it. It feels like I'm in a lobby full of like reinvigorated teens ready to show off their muscles to me, and I'm just not, can't keep up with them. You know what I mean? That's the best way I can describe it. So I'm going to give it a go though. Once the open beta hits, just to see, and because it's been a while. But as far as Call of Duty itself, I've always just been more inclined to the campaign. To take it.
Hey, Umbra, if you don't mind me cutting you in, man, they did make a mode for casuals, like a kind of a Halo mode where if you just want to lay back and just shoot people, they have that kind of a. It's like the
what mode is that?
Big old map. It's I forgot the name of it.
It's an invasion kills.
Where they have AI little bots dropping in, you can shoot them and
okay.
feel about yourself for killing people.
It's more Titanfall vein, actually. More of like Titanfall 1, pretty much.
What is it? Attrition. Like attrition kind of mode.
Think attrition from Titanfall 1, where it's mindless. I go in, I shoot things, and that's it. I go in and I shoot things.
Yeah, they're dropping from the sky. It feels very a little bit battlefieldy, and they got the bots right in that one. So yeah, no, it's really cool. I played a little bit of that. It's a bit jerky and jumps all over the place, though, right, man?
Yes.
Yeah, I hope they get that fixed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'll definitely give it a go there. My biggest thing too is that I know that this will eventually be coming to Game Pass. So having such a crazy backlog. Having such a crazy backlog like I do, man, I also don't have that incentive to be like, I need to get this, I need to get on.
Yeah.
Outside of the social aspect of playing with, with all of you guys, that's the only thing that would drive me to get on the game immediately. That's it. Other than that, I don't really have an incentive to jump on it too fast. So, but I'm going to give it a shot though with the open beta and really give it a full shot and try to see, because my opinion comes from old, like past games. This game could be way better in terms of everything, and I might love it for all I know. So I got to give it a shot first before I write it off.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely give it a go. I've got to go to Pete, someone who did play it, who has a bit of a dissenting opinion. Not his cup of tea from what he's telling me. Look, what are your thoughts on the game? Try not to be too harsh. I know you're a bit of more of an arena shooter kind of guy. But I'm going to have to mute you if you get too much, just saying.
Look, the game looks absolutely beautiful. It feels beautiful. It plays beautiful. There's different modes out there. Evasion was probably the one where we had a lot of trouble getting in. So when we had people from all over the world, as we typically do, playing with us, and generally one or two people would get kicked out of the lobby while loading into that game mode in particular. And also getting a game, under a 200 ping rate for Invasion seemed to be a little bit of a problem. So, look, it's in beta. I'm sure they'll iron out the kinks. Why it doesn't gel with me personally is because I'm typically a Halo player. So Halo rewards you for being a little bit more aggressive. It doesn't reward that campy style of gameplay, that really defensive kind of gameplay. And I mean, you're right, more tactical style type of gameplay. So I think that's just going to take a little bit of getting used to once I learn the maps, once I learn, the corners that, are the best to hide behind. Once you start playing more tactical with your teammates, I'm sure it will gel. And I bought this game because of the campaign, but I really did. The Modern Warfare reboot was absolutely amazing, and you're right, that clean house mission is one of those things that just sticks in your mind as a gamer. When you go into that room and the guy's shooting and you take him down and you think you've saved the woman, and then she goes for the gun. That instant that you have to, that split second decision where you have to make that decision, it's incredibly impactful. And just it's the best of gaming, and why I love gaming. It's just it's amazing. And not only that, the raids. I love that they introduce raids. I hope it doesn't come at the expense of zombies, because I love zombie modes. I love PvE modes. I love jumping in and killing the AI with my friends. That's why that's probably the most fun I have when I'm gaming. So, but the raids sound incredibly cool to me. I wish it was more than 3 players. So at the moment, they're only 3 players allowed. I don't know if they're going to extend that, but what I'm hearing, they're 2-hour gaming sessions where you're going to have to complete puzzles, kill things, all different manner of things. And that sounds really, really cool to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I think there's hope. There was no zombies mode in Modern Warfare 1. It's something they dropped, and I think everyone complained about it enough that I think it's hopefully on their radar to do. And with a 2-year cycle, I think it's very possible that we might see a zombies. That would be awesome. I hope for it as well. Cutie, are you looking forward to are you going to be downloading the Modern Warfare open beta? Have you had a chance to go through Modern Warfare 1? Because I know you were talking about, kind of trying to get more shooters in as a goal. What are your thoughts on what you're seeing here, and are you looking forward to the game?
I am trying to master the mechanics of simply shooting a gun in first person mode. So for me, I personally struggle with the sort of the very subtle tactics, the evasive maneuvers, I suppose. So that's something that I'm trying to work on. This is, the latest, the newest, so it's definitely something that I will be giving a go. However, I don't know if it's going to be, and not because the game isn't good or because I don't like it, just simply because if it's not, I may not add it to my regular roster simply because it is very difficult for me. And when I game, I just want to relax, and it might be too challenging. So, yeah. but I will give it a go.
Absolutely, but maybe in the PvE modes you might have more of a
any of the campaign stuff. Definitely, most definitely. Like I was the same. I'm similar with Halo Infinite. Like not that you want to talk about that, but I really enjoyed going through the campaign. And I have done multiplayer, and that is fun, but it's not what made me enjoy the game, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's not your main way of playing that you enjoy. Completely understandable. Lots of people.
Yeah, but everyone is really passionate about this series. So don't. I'm not one to take people's joy out of something that they enjoy. So
Absolutely,
So, yeah.
definitely not.
I was relaxed, extremely relaxed, Boba. As always, mate. You know me, bro.
Yeah, Pete definitely does not relax. This is Pete's, not his relaxing thing. Guys, shot him in the head, I swear to God.
And Ripper is someone that I play Fortnite with, and yeah, he he knows what it's like.
Yeah,
COD
absolutely.
can be relaxing. I highly doubt it. From the things that I've heard you shout in Discord, I highly doubt it.
Yeah. I mean, it does get a bit sweaty at times, and I think that skill-based matchmaking has a massive effect on it because, and this is the thing, I think we all agree, I think it was like Sensei said, I think we all agree that skill-based matchmaking needs to be adjusted, removed, whatever they're going to do, because you play a few games, and once it figures out that this is your skill, it tends to throw you in a lobby that's just so sweaty, and it does take the enjoyment out of it when you like spawn die a few times, and and then you get
this kid. It puts you in the TTV lobbies, man. I swear.
Yeah,
it's like everybody's a streamer at that point.
Yeah, I'm not sure who was playing with us yesterday, but there was a couple of guys that were absolutely amazing on the game. Power Man. There was a couple of them, and wow, the lobbies that we were getting into were just so incredibly sweaty. And it really does strip the fun out of the game.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem.
You have to also
Pete's just really
remember-
bad at the game, so
You have to also remember, like, it's currently school holidays, so you are going to get a lot of the teenagers
Squeakers.
who this is basically what they live and breathe. So keep that in mind when you are playing, and if you're getting particularly sweaty lobbies, you could potentially be up against some teenagers who are, quite frankly, better than you.
Squeakers, mate. Squeakers, they've got nothing better to do but sit in their mum's basement and play COD. But look, moving on to we've got a couple of little topics that I just kind of want to throw out there, and if anyone's got anything to say on them, they're not massive, but I just kind of wanted to bring them to the forefront. One of them was that Twitch has definitely done some things that are, in the way of creating cash caps for their top streamers, basically hurting their own platform. Which is why I spend most of my time over here on YouTube. And I do recommend, if you're thinking about streaming, to really kind of lean towards YouTube, because Twitch, I think, has a very short shelf life. And I don't think it's going to survive more than 5, max 10 years. And I kind of wanted to talk about that. I would love to see a new mixer come back. And I think this is the time. If Microsoft never really kind of shut it down in a way that it couldn't be rebooted again, and I would love to see a new mixer. Would anyone else, being that we're all content creators here, would anyone else like to see, Microsoft bring that mixer back out and give creators another opportunity on another platform?
Yeah, I mean, I would have loved it. I'm sure all of us kind of feel that way. I actually liked Mixer more than Twitch, personally. The thing is,
You're not the only one who feels that.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't think that they will do it anymore. I think there was a big cost for them, and they had to wrap it up. Unfortunately, it didn't grow when everybody else was growing at the time during the pandemic. It just didn't work out for them. So,
yeah,
well, especially adding to that, where as far as cost is concerned, seeing what they ended up having to pay Ninja and Shroud. I mean, reported numbers were anywhere. I mean, Shroud reportedly got anywhere from a $20 to $35 million deal, and Ninja's was upwards of $40 million.
Ridiculous.
So from those two, and they both got paid out fully when they sold Mixer to Facebook. So Microsoft had to foot that bill, on top of everything else. So yeah, I think I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see it happening, but
right. They got the biggest content creators, out there. And they did pay them incredibly large sums of money. And we were having this discussion, I think, a couple of nights ago with Risket and Umbra. Mixer, everyone else during the pandemic grew exponentially. I mean, YouTube gaming was growing at 200, 300%. Twitch grew, around the same. Mixer went up from, I think, 38 million to 42 million. It went up 4 million, which sounds like a lot, but when everyone else is growing, exponentially, they really didn't grow, and I think that was the final nail in the coffin for Microsoft. But look, never say never. We know that, but I can't see them bringing it back.
No, I can't see them bringing it back either. I just think there's space now for a something like that to come in. And I would like to see it. Some more options are always good because at the moment there's really only 2 platforms for creators that are viable. And, I'd like to see a little bit more competition. Let's have competition. The other one that I wanted to cover this week, which I think is a big one, no one's talking about, but when it all went tits up, it was massive, and obviously from one side of the community. But the DRM issues are, I would say, fixed for Xbox, as fixed as you could expect them to be in this online world that we are in. And just some things to kind of note here. So, I mean, it's fairly obvious, but if you are on a subscription service, you can't obviously log into your subscription service when you're off web. So those games that you've downloaded through the subscription service will not work. But now, if you are offline, if you have a game that's downloaded and you have downloaded that game fully, and you own that game, you've bought it, you will be able to play that game offline. Xbox One games, Xbox Series X games, they will all work from a disc, and the games from the 360 do not work from disc unless you are online. They need to touch base. That includes the original Xbox as well. They need to touch base with the server to get them to work. So I think that's as far as you could kind of expect the DRMs to be fixed. I think that's a pretty decent job that Xbox has done responding to that. And they didn't make a big hoo-ha about it. I really haven't heard a whole lot about it. I think Destin spoke on it briefly. And aside from that, no one else is really talking about this. And this was a massive complaint from the entire community when the servers went down and no one could get into their games. So I just wanted to bring that to the forefront, just let everyone know that issue is fixed. You can test it out, go offline, throw your discs in and try to play your games that are downloaded and owned, and you will be able to. So that's pretty cool for me.
It is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I was just want to say it's pretty cool because during that time when the servers went down for a lot of people, I was one of the people affected, and because I do game sharing, it had me offline for a while. I couldn't touch some of my games, so that actually does come in handy for me. The only one I wish that it did cover too were the 360 games, but you got to have some type of compromise. It is what it is.
That's right. One thing I don't know, though, is I'd kind of like to find out and test, and maybe I'll test it out today, is if you've got a 360 game downloaded, so not on disc, I wonder if that would work.
That's a good point.
I'll check that out as well and let you guys know next week on the show if it did or didn't work. But again, this was something that was like jumped on by our hooved brethren, as Umbra likes to call them. And this is another thing is related to as well Modern Warfare. We're seeing a lot of these guys cancel this. It's just absolutely ridiculous. We see when this DRM issue happened, it was just jumped up and down about by people that weren't even affected by it. I just find it really funny, really immature that people are canceling their Modern Warfare subscriptions, returning their games when it's not even owned by Microsoft yet. It's just childish and stupid. They're trying to curry up get everyone to follow suit, which I know there's going to be followers and fools that will. But anyway, we'll move on from our Hoove brethren to the chat. And you guys are absolutely amazing. You've been killing it in there. I do see you all in there. I don't get a chance to reply to everything. But yes, Palpatine Rand spoke on it. Yes, I did forget. My bad. Guys, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Sean Layden has gone over to Tencent. He dropped an update on, it was leaked earlier, but he dropped an update on Twitter. And he said, I'm delighted to share that I have recently joined Tencent Games as a strategic advisor in this new role. I hope to advise and assist and support the team at Tencent. As they deepen their activities and commitments within the industry, keep that in your mind, to which I have devoted the majority of my career. We are at an epoch-defining moment in gaming and interactive entertainment. There are many possible roads ahead, but only a few are profound, broadening, inclusive, edifying, inspiring, and or sustainable. I am thrilled. I mean, Jesus Christ, how many adjectives does this man want to use? I am thrilled to continue this journey of discovery and thank Tencent for the opportunity. Now, the part that I said to keep in your mind, Tencent, as they deepen their activities and commitments within the industry, to which I have devoted the majority of my career. Listen, I'm not saying it's going to be, but it's going to be fun speculation, shout out to Mav, to postulate, do we think that Tencent might try to throw their hat in the ring with hardware. Now, I know the thoughts of some of the panel, so I'm going to go to our guests on this. Listen, I probably, if I really sit down and think about it, I probably don't see them doing it. It's a bit of a hard market to attack, as you've seen with Microsoft and the battle with Sony and Nintendo. But they could come in on a different price point. They could come in on a different SKU. I mean, Nintendo's very much its own thing. There is space, I think, for that. I don't know what it would be. That's why I don't create games or hardware. But maybe they do. So, Logic, I'll go to you. Do you think you see Tencent maybe throwing their hat in the ring with hardware?
I mean, if there's any conglomerate right now at this point that has the money to do something like this, to start a venture like this, it would be them. I don't want to necessarily jump the gun, only because I have foreseen knowledge of the topics of the day. But I mean, it reported with another handheld device that we will potentially be talking about. They had that's where they were dipping their toes with that, because that's a joint venture with Logitech. I don't know if people were aware of that. The Logitech handheld that was officially announced now.
Yes, absolutely.
That's a joint venture with Tencent. So that might be their first initial testing the waters, see how that works, and then maybe go forward. Especially because they're at least from Microsoft standpoint, Nvidia standpoint, they're trying to get into the clouds. Not trying to get into the cloud space, but trying to maximize the cloud space when it comes to gaming.
Well, let's bring that into the conversation, because it's most definitely related. So look, Tencent is, I'll just throw it out to the chat there. Logitech has released a handheld G Pro cloud gaming, and that'll be coming on the October the 18th. It's a cloud gaming basically handheld, and it's what we saw Kojima holding. So look, I mean, it's pretty cool, but to me, it doesn't really have a place in my life, as I have a phone and I have consoles. So to me, it doesn't really help. But yeah, absolutely. Sorry to cut in on you there, Logic.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, feel free to open it up and talk about that as it's related. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. Me and Sensei have been talking about this for a while, ever since they first leaked, the device first leaked. I know at TGS there was a tweet from Phil Spencer. He actually had his hands on this same device. And he actually did tweet out saying that he was, running around basically as he was hanging out in Japan, getting some use out of it, playing games on it, obviously playing xCloud titles on there from Game Pass, and he's really impressed by what he's seen with it. And I mean, it's pretty much designed to be exactly that. It's that space pretty much where if you're, I wouldn't say on the go, because it's an Android device. It's forked Android, meaning it's like Logitech OS, like GUI system. So that they did custom designed, but it's running off of an Android operating system pretty much. So it's going to be able to run Google Play Store apps and games. But it's pretty much a Wi-Fi tablet. You'd have to connect it to a cell phone or your Wi-Fi at home, pretty much, if you wanted to connect to the internet and play these games. So as far as like the mobility of it for the cloud, unless your phone has hotspot and you're on a carrier that has unlimited data, you're kind of limited to just being always at a coffee house, home, a library, so it's like very niche spots where you could be to use this device. But I think, and then you see the devices like Backbone, people have cell phones. I think there is a market for it, only because even though cell phones have, gotten better with technology and the processing power and the battery life and stuff, I still think, at the end of the day, we want to do other things besides game on the phone. I know a lot of people do use xCloud, do gaming, other types of gaming on their phones, Android phones, iPhones, things like that. But I think it would be cool to have another device, 7-inch screen, offset, sticks and stuff like that, triggers, touchscreen as well too, 60 hertz, 6,000 milliamp battery, just dedicated to pretty much gaming. So I think there's a market for it, but like you said, I don't know, it's going to be the right type of buyer. In my opinion, personally. And like I said, this is Tencent investing into, Logitech, I don't think had the money to just outright, do this. I think they got help from Tencent to do this. So I think this is like a wait and see from them, see how this plays out, and maybe they do something in the future along the lines of what you were talking about.
Yeah, look, I don't know personally if I would want to even see Tencent step into the hardware space. I don't really have a lot of respect for the company itself. So, yeah, it's a bit of an interesting one. Maybe a little bit scary as well for me. But look, I'll go to Sensei. What are your thoughts? Do you think we'll see maybe a hardware push from Tencent?
Personally, I hope not. God, I hope not. But they do have the library with all these little devs they've been buying up, all these little companies, and I say little, but with all the libraries they've been having opened up, I see them getting more into the into the mobile space, because with the whole Logitech thing, and now mobile becoming more like stronger in the gaming community. Whether we like it or not, it's a thing where mobile gaming is happening. Switch, people take that around. You have your Steam Deck, people take that around. There's always a market for things like this, especially with gaming. Gaming is a multi-billion-dollar business. You know, whether you step in as a mobile gamer, or you step in as a console gamer, PC, cloud gaming. I mean, listen, we've been talking about cloud gaming for quite some time, and how beautiful xCloud is. This is just that next step forward, going. You know, let's take Game Pass and put it on this thing natively. You know, as far as Tencent putting out a hardware. God, personally, I hope not. I have my reasons for them. You know, I don't want them to be in that space at all. But this whole thing with Logitech is pretty. To me, it's dope. I like it. It's you know, the whole mobile space. And I know you mentioned the phone thing, and you have your phone, you have a console. But me personally, I wouldn't want to dedicate my phone to playing video games. I would dedicate my tablet to it, and maybe, you know, something like that with a Logitech. And there's a space for that, but it's not just, you know, Game Pass is going to be on there. It's going to be Steam Link and the GeForce Now and different things like that. You could do Google Play. So there's different things you could do with it. It is a much smaller aspect of screen, which is 1080p, I believe, 60 hertz. But the battery life is amazing on it, which we don't have good battery life mobile gaming right now. But I don't want to get too far away from the Tencent question. I hope not. I hope that they don't make a console. I have my own personal reasons. I don't really want to get into that, but I hope not.
Yeah,
Tencent being who they are.
They've done a lot of shady things in the past, had a lot of shady business practices, and you know, I think if we look at Sony as predatory, and I think to be honest they are and have been, and all businesses to some degree are, I think Sony walks the line. And I think that Tencent might be that company.
I think Tencent erases it. I think they just walk over it.
Yeah, what line? Here's Tencent.
What line is what they say,
I think they just dance right over it and do a bit of tap work. Pete, we'll go to you. What are your thoughts? I know that you had a bit of a negative thought about this when we spoke about this during topics.
Way too much of a connection to the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, for them to be allowed to enter the market and have a console out there which will go into American homes. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. I think they should treat it like the Hawaii thing when they wanted to integrate themselves into the 5G space for mobile. It just opens up too many questions in terms of where the information goes. You don't know what's in that console. You don't know what spyware's in it. And I'm sorry, I just don't trust Tencent at all. And I don't think it will be successful in the Western market. It might be successful in China, but I mean, as we know, there's a massive pushback in China for the amount of gaming that they're allowed to have. So the government has, you know, said to kids at a certain age that they're only allowed to game for certain periods of the day, and it's actually monitored. So I don't know if they're going to want to release it for that market as well. So it would have to be, you know, for the Western market. I hope that it's stopped, you know, before it gets started. I don't want to support anything that the CCP does. Yeah, so that's what I think about that. In terms of Sean Layden, I think that, you know, he said that he's there as an advisory role, so it's a strategic advisor, and I love you know, the little thing that he said where he said we are at the epoch-defining moment in gaming and interactive entertainment. There are many possible roads ahead, but only a few are profound, broadening, inclusive, edifying, inspiring, and or sustainable. I'm thrilled to continue this journey of discovery and thank Tencent for the opportunity. So I'm happy for him. I really don't think Tencent are going to be getting into the console market. They might make like that, like they help Logitech make a gaming device which is just strictly cloud only. Maybe they'll make something like that. But I think they got Sean Layden strictly because of how all the people that he knows within the industry. It really does open up Tencent to all those, discussions in boards where Sean Layden can have a lot of influence because he did an amazing job in the PlayStation 4 era. He was one of the big reasons they were so dominant in that era, and the deals he signed and the games that came out under his leadership and his tenure were just absolutely amazing. And so I think that he was a really, really good pickup for Tencent. Very, very smart. And look, I'm happy for him. I wish him all the success in the world. In terms of Tencent, they already own what? League of Legends. They own 40% of Riot Games. Sorry, they own 40% of Fortnite's Epic Games. They own 16.25% of Elden Ring Studio from Software. They have their claws in everything. They are an absolute juggernaut. They're encroaching on everything at the moment. It's one of the big reasons why I want the Activision Blizzard King deal to go through, because I would much rather it in the hands of Microsoft and an American company than a Chinese company.
Right. Sorry, I was just reading something in the chat that's very, very odd. Okay, so take it to you, Cutie. What do you think? Do you think we're going to see some hardware from Tencent? Do you want to see hardware from Tencent?
No. I don't think so. And if it is, it's probably going to be a small handheld. It won't be a big console. It seems, I don't know. No way. And if it did come out, I'm with Pete. I wouldn't buy it, to be honest. I wouldn't trust it. So
absolutely.
Yeah,
they do have a habit of taking
King
your
of Sanity
information.
just said my friend died from wiping his butt with a shower curtain.
Yeah.
Wait, what? What happened?
Yeah.
A homeless man keeps washing his junk in my bird bath.
Yeah, it is a bit odd. He's a bit of an odd dude. I don't think we should give him any oxygen. I don't really know exactly who it is. But anyway, we'll move on to Umbra. We'll go to you, Umbra. We didn't get a chance to speak to you. I got a little bit thrown by that dude who seems to have maybe some mental issues. What do you think about
maybe
Tencent's bringing a console to market?
Well, the Tencent thing with them bringing the console to market, I hope not to. I'm on board with Pete, what he pointed out, and everybody else. Nobody wants them entering into this thing. But on top of that, my thoughts, and when we talked about it in topics, I think you don't bring in somebody like Sean Layden with his expertise unless maybe you're going to try to enter into it some way. And they're not just buying up these IP and companies rather for nothing. I think that they'll be entering into some type of streaming service, much like to compete against rather with Game Pass in some way. That's what I'm leading to think. I don't think they would want to put as much money into the R&D and to creating a console and such. I don't think they would want to do that investment because it's really costly. I think if anything, it'll be something like a streaming service that they might get into, or maybe they'll just have their own, let's say service, but like a Ubisoft Plus or an EA Play, something of that nature, right? They might have something like that they put out. I think. As far as Sean Layden goes, I just found, like I said earlier with Red Panda and group, I just think that it's funny how people's opinions and everything else that they say stand on changes once they get a certain amount, certain bag. And his tone shifted. He sounded a little different, that whole sustainability thing that he was talking about. It seemed to kind of go away to me once he got this bag here. And the reason why I say that is because I do believe that's what Tencent will go into. And if they do, everything he claimed about the not being sustainable with Game Pass is going right out the window. So we'll see. I'm going to hold on to that for now. But my prediction will be that they're going to try to get into some type of streaming service or something like that. And if they do that, okay, I guess fine. I suppose, especially if they can work out a deal with Microsoft and I guess Sony and have those games still brought to the service for people. But other than that, no, I wouldn't want them to get into the hardware business at all. and I don't think they
Yeah, I
want to.
can't see them making like if they make a streaming service, all well and good. I can't see them making them exclusive, but it closes them off too much, and they've really just
Hmm.
too much money into And I think they need as broad an audience as they could possibly get. Yeah, I really
agree.
don't think that their console will have the impact that say the Xbox and the PlayStation have and the Nintendo have. It's incredibly difficult launching a console when people already have such.
We're dug in. We're
Yeah,
dug in already. Yeah,
you really are.
it's hard enough right now for
Oh, good.
Microsoft to gain more market share.
Well
Yeah.
said. Exactly. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
I would 110% agree
Also,
with
just
that.
to throw out there. Also, just throw out. You got to have a killer app, and we got the Master Chief, for instance, on Xbox. You got Mario and such on Nintendo. You got the Kratos and the Drakes and such on PlayStation and all that. You got to have a killer app. I don't know if they have that.
Yeah, well, apparently they do have. Thimba was saying in the thing that they do have a streaming site, so be interested to check that out. But look, yeah, I don't want Tencent to step in the hardware market. It is interesting that Sean Layden is over there. I don't want Tencent to have Sean Layden, if I'm honest. I would rather see him go back to PlayStation and bring PlayStation back to form with their consumers, to be honest, even though their consumers won't kick up and say anything about it. I will. They've been anti-consumer this entire generation so far. And I think Sean Layden was their heyday. I think Sean Layden it was their Phil Spencer. And I think that Jim Ryan is their Don Matrix, to be honest, just from what we've seen.
So the internal battle going on in Sony wasn't there at the time, Risket, between Sean Layden's crowd and Jim Ryan's crowd, and unfortunately Jim Ryan won out. And honestly, I think it was a massive mistake.
Yep, absolutely. I think they were thinking short-term dollar signs is what Sony was looking at, and Jim Ryan was offering short-term cash. You can kind of see his attitude. He's like, we've got the market share, we've got the consumer base, they'll back us whatever we do. We can raise prices, we can earn money this way, we can control the market. And it's just not working out because I don't think he had the foresight to see what Xbox was going to do and how well Game Pass was going to go in the end. But we'll move on to the next topic and the final topic of the evening. But before I do, Shooter had an announcement in the chat. I didn't get a chance to rip it and put it aside, but he did say he will be giving something away on our 50th episode. So Shooter, again, thank you very, very much. We do appreciate it. Here it is, announcement 7 weeks to the podcast's 50th anniversary. I'll be giving away 2 $50 gift cards to celebrate the 50th anniversary. Shooter, you're an absolute champion. He doesn't have to do that. He does that off his own back, and he is a legend, and we really appreciate you doing that, Shooter. You're a champion. Did see you on last night, just when I was going to go to bed and you were playing COD, but if I see you on the next couple of days, we'll jump in and have a couple of matches. Maybe you can show me how not to camp. Moving on, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share us out. Electronic Arts has announced with their studio Motive that they are thrilled to collaborate with the talented team at Motive Studio to bring the original vision of one of Marvel's most important, powerful, beloved characters, said Bill Roseman, Vice President. He is talking about Iron Man. And this is pretty interesting because Motive itself has worked on some extremely large IPs, but never alone. Not quite yet have they had their own IP that they've worked on. They worked on Star Wars Battlefront 2, they worked on Squadrons, and they worked on Dead Space, or working on Dead Space at the moment. So it'd be very interesting to see what they're doing. Sorry, with Dead Space, how they go with Dead Space and how that turns out. I think that would be a good judging point for how that kind of goes. As it is a remake, so it's they've kind of got assets, level design, and things that they can build off. So building from scratch, Iron Man itself, I think that they could kind of do the same thing. We were talking about this last night. They could definitely pull the mechanics from Anthem. That game is almost an Iron Man game. Let's be honest. It just lacked the content, lacked the story, lacked anything of substance, really, other than pretty decent mechanics. Jedi Knight, Pete, what do you think of Motive developing this? A little bit, not concerning, but I'm reserving my judgment to see how Motive does with Dead Space. And then from there, maybe I'll become a little bit more positive to the positive side, or maybe I'll go to the negative side.
Yeah, that's what I would have thought. I would wait to see how Dead Space releases. I think that will determine on, how well they've done. I think that EA is very, very happy with how Dead Space is looking, and they have then opened them up to make their own, IP. Like you said, they haven't really worked on anything by themselves, so that gives me great hope that Dead Space is everything that we want it to be, because I'm really looking forward to that game. I know that you guys played it recently, you and Monad. I am like not playing it specifically because I want it to be fresh when I play the remake. So really looking forward to that game. I hope they succeed, and I think you're 100% right, Riskit. Basically, put the mechanics of Anthem into an Iron Man story, and I think it'll make an absolutely fantastic game.
Absolutely, yeah, I think it really will. Sensei, what are your thoughts on Motive putting together an Iron Man game? Pretty exciting that we get something that seems to be going multi-plat. And do you think those Anthem mechanics would fit snugly into Iron Man?
I've had this conversation with Logic, and I'm pretty sure he's going to do the same thing. But the moment I played Anthem when that game first came out, immediately our thoughts it was like we felt like we were Iron Man flying around and everything. Anthem has a it has a spot in my heart, and it's just sad that game cannot keep getting supported and worked on like they promised us, and they took it away. But I do see that this Anthem game by EA Motive. It's probably going to be some of the retooled Anthem stuff into this game. And Anthem was not a bad game. It just wasn't. It was like you said, it lacked content. But I'm excited to see what comes out of this. This Iron Man from EA Motive. EA Motive is a great studio. So I'm excited to see what comes out of it. And hopefully it's going to be one of those. It feels like Anthem, but like in this day and age, more current, more modernized as far as the technology that's we have going out right now versus what we had when we had Anthem. So I'm excited. I want to see what comes out of this. I know they said it was early on. There's not really much to go on, but hopefully when they do end up showing it off, it's going to be in all its glory, the whole 4K and all that stuff flying around. And I just can't wait. I want to see an origin story maybe, or something that, builds you up to that point where like you're super Iron Man guy. So, I'm excited.
A lot of visceral games, Sensei, actually became EA Motive. So a lot of it is actually Glenn Schofield's team. So and that's why they gave them Dead Space. So there's a lot of talent in that studio.
Yes, a lot of talent. So I'm excited. I can't wait to see more.
Absolutely. Look, I'll jump over to Logic. Are you excited for this Marvel? Look, I know personally I am. I'm always concerned. Always get a little bit concerned with, big IPs that like Marvel games or a Star Wars game. I was concerned with Fallen Order, before it came out, and EA concerns me. They are one of the biggest hit and miss publishers I think that there is. So it's always a bit concerning. However, I'm reserving judgment, but I'm leaning slightly towards the optimistic side. What about yourself?
I mean, seeing that Disney didn't just write out, pull, the brand from them. I mean, it's not all of EA because, you got Respawn, right? Respawn being the studio that they are, an amazing studio over there. Giving us a game like Fallen Order, which was top tier, amazing. So I don't think Respawn speaks for all of EA, but the issues that they've had, with the Star Wars brand, specifically with something like Battlefront, you would have thought maybe they would have thought twice about giving them an IP like Iron Man, but I'm sure the pitch had to be. I mean, and I tweeted about this too, and I know a lot of us had already mentioned it. I'd bet you $10 that this literally was just, Anthem at its core. They just, they have it because they had literally like Anthem at its core. When you think of it, it's like, oh, I'm playing an Iron Man game, but but set in like this looter shooter kind of futuristic world. And even some of those mechs and some of the suits that you had, they almost look like War Machine suits. They weren't as narrow and thin as like the Iron Man suit itself, but those flight mechanics, the spinning around, the propulsion, like just lifting up off the ground and just flying to your next objective and doing all of that, like that all felt amazing. Like Kills and everybody else here spoke about with Anthem specifically. It's unfortunate that it fell short content wise. After the fact, and they couldn't get their stuff together. But seeing Motive past Project Squadrons I played, which was pretty cool. Another Star Wars Disney title, and then they obviously worked on Battlefront 2 as well. So obviously, I think we'll see how Dead Space pans out. And then, if that might give us an indication on what to look forward to when it comes to this. But, if they're able to just take a lot of those mechanics that were in Anthem and just bring it forward to like more recent times, whatever toolkits that they have and whatever engine they're going to decide to use, because I think that's another big thing at play here. Are they going with Frostbite, or are they going with another engine? I think that would be the big news to find. Are they going to use like something like maybe Unreal? Or it'd be interesting to see what engine. I mean, EA, they're sticklers for like their in-house stuff, especially when it comes to putting Frostbite on a lot of different titles. So I'd be curious to see what engine they're actually going to use for this game.
Yeah, well, I'd be curious as well. I think you got to remember with Anthem as well that it was very much top-driven development. Apparently, they were shown a trailer. A lot of the developers, I heard this recently. I can't remember who said this. But they said that they knew someone within the studio who said to them they were shown a trailer, and then they had to basically back develop because they want this, and they want this in the game that was shown in the trailer. So. Yeah, like it's a really interesting way to go about development, and I hope that EA has learned from their mistakes. But I've seen too many times that they haven't learned Umbra from their mistakes, and it does make me apprehensive. But I'm
Risk, I'm sorry if I could just add one more thing, Ju, just with that, the whole thing of we were also promised BioWare. That was the big selling point with Anthem. They literally they said BioWare, not realizing it was like BioWare, not even B Team, but it was like BioWare C Team. And nothing against developers and stuff like that, but that wasn't the same team that worked on the Mass Effect series. This was like a whole different squad essentially. So it's unfortunate, but like you said, I'd be interested to see with the right people in place and stuff like that, if they take their time with it, what they could actually do.
Yeah, and nail it. And I don't think you need to rush it out for 2023 because that year is stacked. Umbra, are you excited to see Iron Man come from Motive?
You say Myron Man? I'm not sure who the hell Myron Man is.
I said Myron Man, yeah. I was umming at the same time as saying Iron Man.
No, I'm actually really excited for. I love Iron Man, man. I'm a comic fan. Listen, I don't let it on to it, but I'm a super nerd when it comes to those comics and stuff. I know plenty. I just don't really talk about it too much. I don't know too many like-minded guys out here who know as much as me on the comic front. But yeah, big time Iron Man fan. I'm actually really excited for this, and it was speculated way back. I mean, I remember Nick from Special Nick, if you all are not aware of Xbox era and such, he spoke on it. He rumored it way back sometime, so I was already keen to it before it was actually out there. And he doesn't hit as often as say a Jeff Grubb or a Jez, but he does hit some.
He does accidentally hit sometimes, yes. And he is a Collingwood supporter, so I don't know how much weight can be thrown behind a Collingwood supporter. I'm surprised he's got all of his teeth. Most Collingwood supporters, they usually have every second tooth. But sorry, that's just a football joke. Go ahead, my bad.
But yeah, so I was already kind of keen to it, but I'm actually, I'm hyped for it, man. What I would like if they, I don't know how much they'll be able to do. More than likely, they won't be able to do this, but if they could have something like, actually model him off of RDJ, I know the game would sell like gangbusters. You know what I mean? And imagine imagine. Why you come in like that, cutie? Wait a minute.
Just doing the Umbra.
Yeah, my voice, my decibels almost dropped. I had to stop myself. I'm like, wait a minute. What you trying to get into over there?
Moving forward.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Getting back. What was that? Oh yeah. So yeah, RDJ. He threw me off, cutie. But no, RDJ. If they could actually do something like that, I know that would cost a mint though to get him. So I have no hopes for that. But that would be dope if they could. You know what? It would be dope.
I don't think they need to get Robert Downey Jr.
They don't need to. But I'm just saying it would be dope if they could.
It would be.
But but imagine if they did, because if you all didn't know, they had Tom Cruise was actually going to be Iron Man before him, but contractual issues and him doing another movie, I think, prevented it. So they decided to go with Jon Favreau's pick of using Robert Downey Jr., although he had to be insured to hell for it to happen because, his drug situation at the time and rehab. He was rehabbing at the point. So, yeah, imagine them doing something like that and having an alternate version of the Tom Cruise playing them. Or like I said, a Robert Downey Jr. That would be dope. And if they're going to use the mechanics of what they use with Anthem, I'm pretty sure the game is going to be solid overall. I think EA has learned from past mistakes when it comes to that type of stuff. They're not going to have another Anthem situation on their hands. They just can't afford it. I don't think they will allow it. And I think Motive, they have enough trust in them from what they've done and worked on. And even what we've seen from Dead Space, I think they look like they know what they're doing. So I have faith in it.
Fingers crossed.
I have faith that EA has moved forward as well. After Fallen Order showed them that single-player games can be incredibly successful, I think Titanfall 2 should have been a lot more successful. It was an absolutely fantastic game. I'm hoping Dead Space hits as well. I have a little bit of a problem with the release schedule being so close to Callisto Protocol and those games being, I think, incredibly similar. But yeah, look, I hope these games are successful and EA does move forward with making more single-player titles, because basically I'm sick of them releasing yearly sports titles, and that's it.
Yeah, look, I have no issue with them releasing Dead Space off the back of Callisto Protocol, because I know I'll have that knocked over. Callisto Protocol will be knocked over by, beginning of January, end of December possibly, and then I'll be ready for Dead Space. I love that genre, so to me, you could just feed me that genre all day and I would be happy, but I do understand where you're coming from, absolutely. You might be a little bit space horrored out by that point. DoomCutie, are you excited to see an Iron Man game come to the forefront with Motive? And we know they have a good pedigree. So what are your thoughts on the new Iron Man game coming through?
Well, first of all, I'm a big Iron Man fan. He's my favorite in Marvel. And yeah, I think it's a really interesting story to be brought to a game. And I think that look, the team's being led by Olivier. Is that how you say it? Olivier Prolix. And he worked on Guardians of the Galaxy. So I'm hoping that, since I loved that game, and I know that some of you guys did too, I'm hoping that is a positive sign, and hopefully it can lead EA in the right direction in regards to delivering this game, this story. And I was on the Game on Oz weekly show the other day, and we were talking about it, and I said that potentially it would be interesting if so how in Guardians of the Galaxy you can switch, or you can sort of control your crew like everyone else. Yeah, you can give them orders to tell them to do this and tell them to do that, and attacks. I can imagine that as you sort of progress through, you will acquire different technology, and then you'll be able to control that technology in the gameplay. Like, that is something that I'm predicting will be in the gameplay. You mean like drones and stuff like that? Yeah, that you can kind of send out. Yeah, exactly, cool. That'd be pretty cool. I'd be down for that. I wonder if they will bring it, and have the Avengers in it, or if it'll be pre that time period, or even after, or who knows where they'll nail it. But guys, look, that is the show for this week, and I have to thank the chat. You guys are absolutely amazing every week, coming through, holding us down, old faces, new faces. And if you guys are here for the first time, please hit subscribe button. If you're not and you haven't hit the like button, slip over there and hit that like button now. We really appreciate every single one of you. Share us out. Let everyone know that we go live. I'm running out of breath. Know that we go live 8 p.m. EST Fridays every week. Logic, you've been an absolute champion and a great guest. Loved your takes, man. Let us know what you guys are looking forward to be playing, or will be playing in the next week, where they can find you, what your podcast is, and all that sort of stuff, and I will make sure to link that in the chat.
Yeah, no, listen, we've been trying to get this going now for, I think, a few weeks. We've been a big fan of you guys, over here, what we're doing, and, Umbra and stuff like that. You guys have just been really welcoming, Umbra especially, but even everybody here doing game nights. I remember seeing you guys in game nights over with J-Rock and stuff when we were playing Halo. So it's just been really cool, kind of just building this friendship with you guys and being over. So we really appreciate, I know I do, I appreciate you having us on and stuff, and just letting us shoot the shit with you guys. And yeah, as far as what we're doing, I mean, I don't want to take the full floor away from Sensei, but we got a Modern Warfare 2 Standard Edition giveaway going on right now. We're promoting our channel. We got our podcast every Sunday at 4 o'clock. So we're trying to get to 400 subs. As soon as we do that, a week from then, we'll be doing a giveaway for a standard edition copy for COD Modern Warfare 2. And it'll be for your system of choice as well, too. So it could be Xbox, PC, or PlayStation, wherever you want it. So we're doing that through our Discord. So you can find us online at Twitter, through our socials, Sensei Kills, and Unit Logic 718. And yeah, just we'll have all the details on how you enter into the contest. It's through our Discord as well. So we have a STP community Discord that we're really happy about. A lot of people have joined in there. Umbra's in there. I think Doom is in there as well too. There's a couple of people in there. I think even Jedi as well. It's really cool seeing people come together from the pod and hanging out with us and gaming with us. So yeah, man, we really appreciate that, and we definitely, like I said, I appreciate you guys having us on. I had a really good time tonight.
Awesome, man. We appreciate you. So please don't thank us. Thank you for coming through. Sensei, yourself as well. Let everyone know where they can find you, what you'll be playing for the next couple of weeks, what you're looking forward to. And yeah, just all your socials and where they can find you.
Well, Logic hit it right tomorrow, but everything Logic just said. But for me, Sensei Kills, you can find me on Twitter. I'll be playing anything Game Pass drops. I am the Game Pass. I'm that Game Pass guy. I don't discriminate with any games. I'll play anything and everything. Umbra can attest to that. I play anything and everything. I'm an achievement hunter, so I will be playing whatever they're throwing at me. $5 games, $6 games, $7 games, doesn't matter.
You little Chivo whore, you.
I'm a Chivo whore. I'll do that. You find me that Twitter. I'm always talking on Twitter. I'm talking my brand of shit on Twitter. If you guys want to follow me there. And like Logic said, we are doing a giveaway for a COD copy. We have a goal set currently for our channel. We had 397 subs. We're looking to get to 400. Once we get to 400, that giveaway will trigger that giveaway through our Discord. People are already joining through our Discord and doing
people already signed up. I think we have like 15 people already signed up for it. So
signed up for the copy of COD. So other than that, that's what we've been doing. Streaming our games and on our channel. Playing COD, but I'll be definitely playing a lot of COD because that is like, what is going on here? I'm looking at some trailer for COD. Sorry. Yeah, but that's what I'll be doing. I thank you guys. I appreciate you guys. This has been a long time for us to get this going. I've been wanting to do this show for quite some time. Umbra knows this. But finally getting to do this is fun. Meeting you guys for the first time, having conversations like this about what we all love doing, which is gaming. And it's a beautiful thing when we get together and we have this conversation chat. You guys have been awesome. And with all the questions you guys had and the opportunity in the chat. Shout out to chat for that. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to these guys. They are an awesome channel. They do their stuff every single Friday. I'm a subscriber myself, and it's just a beautiful thing to come here every Friday night, listen to these guys and girls, and just go at it with video games and talk their brand of shit. Love it.
You gonna make me cry over here.
No. I'm the softie of the bunch, so I apologize, but and you got me crying. And thank you for sharing my dream for being a stripper in GTA. So that happened.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Other than that,
we'll do it together.
We all support your Chippendales endeavors. Absolutely.
Umbra, you're my brother, bro. I appreciate you, man. But other than that, man, thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. This shit was awesome, man. I hope we can do it again in the future. Sometime later, whenever that happens. But risk it, man. I appreciate you. Much respect to what you do here, man.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. And look, guys, head over to that YouTube channel. It's in the chat there, and I'll have it linked in the description later on. Hit that link and go and subscribe to the channel. Get in that chance to win that Modern Warfare Standard Edition. And also, I've got both the boys' Twitters linked in the chat. Head over there and follow them. I'm sure that you will love all their content and some of their takes on, all their takes on Twitter. DoomCutie, another great show. Let people know where you'll be at, where you'll be playing, what you'll be playing, and how your next week's looking.
My schedule is wide open, absolutely wide open. I'm on holidays. I'm so excited. I'm not working. I won't be working. I love saying that. So all of next week, I'm hoping to be working on some YouTube content, which is very exciting. So if you're not subscribed to my YouTube, please subscribe. Hopefully doing some more streams, playing. I don't know. I'm going to get into some Game Pass games. A few released in Wave 2, so I'm going to jump in those. But yeah, I'll let you all know what I'm doing on Twitter. So if you don't follow me on Twitter, follow me there. And yeah, chat, always amazing. Love you guys. And our guests, thank you. You guys are awesome. And thank you for, enthusing with me in my in my wild scheme.
And your stripper endeavors. Yes, you are very welcome.
Thimber, I'll get to your I'll get to your question now. Am I going to stream right after the show? No. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice, but I'm starting to go downhill. I think I've got whatever the missus has got, and she needs help with the barber. So I won't be streaming the fight, but I will definitely try to make time. I'll make sure I confirm it. I will make time to stream it tomorrow, and I will lay Umbra out flat. Umbra, another great show. Fantastic. You always coming in, holding us down, man. Let people know where they can find you, what you'll be up to, and what kind of pillow you'll be using, and what kind of plasters or band-aids they should send to you for after the fight.
Heaps of Barbie band-aids.
The only pillows I would need is a woman's to lay on after to celebrate, because that'll be, those only pillows I like risk. Yeah. You, however, will need all types
pillows
of.
You like?
Yeah. What else? Yeah. What other pillows are there, Jedi? I don't need any other pillows. Let me stop.
Anyway, moving
I
on.
like making Riskit and Jedi uncomfortable if as much as possible. It's always just so much fun. But yeah, I want to thank you two brothers for joining us and giving us your great expert takes. That's why I always come and tune in to you fellas. And you're right, it has been a long time coming. We finally got the chance to get you guys through here, and you all have been patient with us because we had to reshuffle and reschedule a few times. We really appreciate you guys being willing to come through. And I know that you guys are Eastern time, so it's really late where you're at right now. So we really appreciate you guys coming through and staying up with us like this too. So if they don't say it, I'll say it. I really appreciate that. And we, definitely have to have you come through again in the future or whatever. So shoot a brother invite if you ever need a guest or something like that for me to come and shoot the shit with you guys.
Oh, we might just need to do a role reversal and just have all you guys on at this point. I mean, I know we talked about having you on Umbra because outside, how we get down, but I think it would be cool to even have Xbox Infinite on Sensei Thoughts podcast. I think that would be dope. So we could definitely work on that for sure.
Absolutely. I'm down for it for sure. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. But
it's gonna be a party.
Yeah. But the party that you all can tune into tomorrow will be Brisket being destroyed in Fight Night. So make sure you all tune in.
Hey.
And,
yes.
Yeah. Oh man, look at this. Did you just assassinate him?
No. I'm just, yeah, he did. I think he did.
Oh yeah, I'm looking like he just. Like I thought it was a chainsaw for a minute. But yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter under Umbra Infinite or Infinite Umbra. You'll find me either way. And of course, here on Fridays at 8 Eastern and on Tuesdays on Xbox Factory with Boom and Cast at 12 Eastern.
Absolutely.
Thanks everybody for coming through.
Absolutely. Please come through and give your support to Umbra tomorrow. He is really going to need it after the shellacking that he's going to take.
The shit talking. Oh, my God.
Jedi Knight, Peter, another fantastic fire show. Let people know what you'll be playing, what you'll be up to for the next week.
Probably playing a bit more COD beta. I've got to finish off Immortals. Wanted to say a huge thank you to Sensei and Logic. Umbra has been talking about getting you guys on the show for ages. It's obvious to see why you guys were awesome today. Really enjoyed it. Great final day today in the AFL. So I'll be watching that most likely today. Really unfortunate that we can't get Fight Night happening after the show. Was so looking forward to that. I'm not picking sides. I'm staying out of it, but it is going to be a laugh.
secretly, Jedi told me, I know you're going to destroy him, mate. I know.
It's weird. He said exactly the same thing to me, man. What the hell's going on? What the hell?
Oh, he's playing both sides.
What's going on here?
I see. He's hedging his bets, huh?
I am staying strictly in the middle.
I love a good fence, and I love a good fence.
I don't know how do I work under these conditions? I do not know.
You love it. Yeah. You love it. Look, guys, that is the end of our show. We had an absolutely amazing show again. The guests were amazing. You guys are absolutely great. Again, thank you for coming on the show. Make sure you head over there and subscribe and jump on their podcast. It is amazing. I watch it usually on demand, unfortunately, as it's quite late for me or early, however you want to look at it, but it is a great show. I always get to it every week. Follow them on Twitter. Follow everyone on Twitter. And we will see you all next week. Chat, you're amazing, and I can't wait to see you all next week. Bye-bye.
Later, everybody.
Later.
Later.
Yeah.